find your own control. Politicians and celebrities make deals behind closed doors, promises broken, and their income soars. Hidden agendas run the grand parade. In the circus, choose a masquerade. Believe me, I wouldn't lie. I've been given money, power, and fame to keep you in line.
Welcome, everyone. Today we are going to be talking about the GATE program, the Gifted and Talented program, because I have seen a lot on this, a lot about this topic on TikTok and all over the internet. And a lot of people are finding out that they were a part of a program that was not about being a really smart kid. Some of the kids that were in it weren't particularly that great in their classes, but nonetheless, we found a lot of sketchy things that were in it. So if you were one of these students, or if you're trying to figure out if you might have been in this program and you just thought you were taking some random weird test, or maybe you have mixed memories, maybe you kind of remember a little something that was weird, or maybe watching this might jog a few memories, because another one of the things that's very common with kids who were in these programs were that they forget details, that they remember a few things here and there, or when they see something that reminds them, or they hear something that reminds them, they're like, yeah, that's oddly familiar. And then when they think more about it, they're like, I think I was in this program, or I think I tested to be in the program, or something just wasn't right and I got out of the program, or something like that happened. And this program was started probably around the 70s, 80s, whatever, it got really kicked off. And we were starting to realize that your so-called permanent record was not something that maybe law enforcement knew about, but was suspiciously being shared with different possible government agencies. Oh, and before we get in, all of this is speculative. All of this is just for funsies. All of this is lies and conspiracy theories, so don't even take it seriously. We're just talking here. These are just for fun types of videos. Anyways, so here are what some people say. There's so much going on with the Gateway program. All right, so actually let's do it in order. So here we go. This dude is talking about...
I'm going to show you.
All right, here we go. So this guy's going to talk about some declassified documents from certain three-letter agencies and what they said and what they were talking about the program, just so we can get an overview before we get into more conspiracies. This is what was actually in the documents, and that's it.
Declassified secret government documents, and to give you my theory on why the GATE program was created. The GATE program is the Gifted and Talented Education Program that was implemented in schools. And I'm going to show you a theory of why I think the two are connected and what the true purpose of the GATE program is. If you look at the top of this document, it says the subject, and it shows the agency that I'm going to be referring to. And this document deals with their access to educational records of students. So up until the mid-1970s, government agencies had access to all student records, in particular, government intelligence agencies. And this document goes into something that was changed in 1974. And you see here, it says a law went in effect on the 19th of November, 1974, in terms of a new amendment to the Elementary and Secondary Education Act of 1965. This is important. Remember the name of this act, because this is crucial in my theory. And this document was sent out by the director of this agency to all employees. And he's saying, hey, you need to be aware of something and how this new law impacts our agency. So it says particular attention is directed to paragraph 3 of this new law, which indicates that continued access by our agency, representatives, directly or indirectly, that's important, to educational records without express authorization could seriously jeopardize all agency relationships with educational institutions. So let me give you a background about what was happening at this time. So the general public found out that the government agencies had access to all student records from kindergarten to seniors in high school. That information leaked to the general public and they were outraged. And I get it, understandably. Why do you all need access to our kids' records? What's in the records? Grades, standardized test scores, aptitude test scores, IQ test scores, and everything else about the student were in the records. So this law said, okay, you can no longer access student records without express written consent by parents. And parents weren't giving that. That's why they made a fuss about it in the first place, to get a law passed. So now you had these government agencies had access to all the records for every student in the country. Now that was being taken away. And they're saying, hey, don't ask for this directly or indirectly. So don't ask for it officially or unofficially. Don't gain access to it. Because if you do, if it's found out that schools gave you this or school systems gave you this information, federal funding will be taken away from the schools, which would close the schools. So he's saying, so don't put pressure on them, don't ask for it, because it can affect our relationship with educational institutions, which is key for us. So don't do it. So now they're in a jam. They need access, but why do they need access to student records? That's key in my theory of why I believe the GATE program was created. And I'll talk about that in the next part.
Okay. So basically what he is saying is that the governments, and I'm sure this happens all over the place. Again, this is theory. This is just for laughs, conspiracy theory, just for funsies. None of this is real. Anyway, so in this fictitious story time, the government needs access to our records when we're children, our children's records, right? So they're trying to track the population to kind of see, like, if you are in this fictitious fantasy world, if you are in a government, right, and you want to maintain power, your biggest threat is any up and coming person or people or uprising or anything like that. And not only that, you probably are interested in finding out who is who when they're young. So maybe you can sniff out or like stifle out anything that might be a threat. And then you can rise up anyone that's easy to puppet. And you can also influence people's directions in life. And if you find someone who's really good at something, you can kind of train them early into whatever profession you want to use them for later. So this is why, people like to think honeypots, for example, don't exist. They try to think, that's crazy. Why would someone get married and have kids and do all these things with somebody? Like, how would they know that they're going to be something or someone when they grow up? And in my theory, just for laughs, it's because they're not stupid. They are profiling people young when they're children, and they are developing certain skills, like this person's going to be a politician, this person's going to be a professor, this person is going to be a spy, this person's going to work for this government agency or that government agency or whatever it is, or this person is a problem. We need to give them a lot of, in my theory, just for funsies, a lot of trauma, drama, whatever it is, because they do not fall in line to authority. And they might have like intelligence or charismatic skills that we need to get rid of immediately. So part of the GATE program, what I believe is you get the kids that they just challenge authority. And I think that's number one. Every time my kids are like, so-and-so's in the GATE program or so, and it's still going on, by the way, it's still going on. They call it just like, you're the smart program. And I'm just like, whoa, how are your grades? Is it a match? It's the kids who they're either a little bit on the spectrum and they need more attention. So they give them puzzles and stuff like that. And these are also kids who are a little bit more on the spectrum, the ones that are not like, disabled, whatever, but the ones who are just like really good at pattern recognition, hyper focus people. So they'll throw those in because those people are really good for government agencies. If you have a lot of hyper focus, a lot of hypervigilance, you're really good at pattern recognition. That's great for government agencies. And then you have the people that these people are just, they really want to please authority. These are the ones that are kind of charismatic, but they're also hyper intelligent, but they still want to please authority. So these are the perfect people to become politicians, judges, magistrates, whatever they can to put them in politics because they can get them to fall in line, no problem. And they're charismatic and intelligent enough, not too much, but just enough to follow orders. Then you have what I call like the dissonance type. These are people who they don't respect authority. They ask too many questions. The annoying kid in class who's like, but that doesn't make sense, professor. That doesn't make sense. But what about this? What you're saying isn't logically correct. Those logic stiflers, like those people, they really seem to wait, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, you can hear me. Somebody can't hear me. Turn it up, bro. I don't know. So anyways, so the people who do not fall in line to authority, those are the ones that they have to follow and they have to like kind of see. And probably if I was running the world, I would put a honeypot for people who I want to put into government. And I would put a honeypot for people who might be a dissonant, might challenge my authority. That's what I would do. I mean, that just makes common sense. Like, who can even question that? Like, if you had ultimate power and ultimate authority, you need to find your next challengers, right? People you can use and people who might challenge you. And you need to find them young. Like, if you're king of the world, doesn't everybody say, like, I would go back in time and I would kill, like, Hitler or whatever when he was a baby? Like, this is how people think. So if you have all the authority and all the power in the world, why wouldn't you do this? It makes no sense to not do it. The other thing is there's GATE programs, there's tag programs. They call it many different names. And when the people got together and were talking about their stories, they found out this is worldwide. So this isn't just America. This is in France, they have a big program. In the UK, they have a big program. All over Europe, they have a big program. Asia has big programs. China, Japan, all these countries, they all have their own separate programs, separate names, and they're all trying to find these.
Do the shithole countries have this program?
Maybe not shithole countries, but every advanced-ish civilization definitely has it.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on what I'm saying?
Well, okay. I missed a bit about the beginning, but we spoke about this. When was it? Last week or the week before? I think 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know me. I like conspiracy theories.
This is conspiracy day.
I don't know if okay. So let me ask you a few questions.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think is running it, and
Governments.
what is the end goal? Sorry, who?
The government. All governments would run this.
And what's the end goal for it? Like, what would be the end goal?
To find the people that, when they're young, to train those who they want to make spies, to train those who they want to control, to train those who are going to go into government, to train those who are, going to be politicians, going to be whatever, and also to find any opposition to their power, young, and stifle it.
So I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it's not possible. And I'm not saying it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, like, this particular way of doing it, I think is not very efficient. So I think that if they were going to do it, they'd have a way more effective way of doing it.
What would you think would be okay? Like, look, you're God tomorrow. You're God of the world. You're Emperor Damon, right? Emperor
Right.
Damon. So you run every secret society, every government. You're behind the scenes, right? It's you and your
Okay.
family, right?
Okay.
And you're like, constantly there's people trying to take your power, different
So
mafia
yeah,
families.
so I would
What would
be controlling. You said I'd be controlling everything. I'd be controlling entertainment. I'd
You're
be
like the
controlling
top. You're the
right.
top.
So in that scenario,
Mhm.
why would I need to be kind of identifying kids at a young age already, the potential they have, and then adopt them or bring them into my side or recognize them as being a threat when already I've got the deck completely stacked in my favor, right? So by the time they become a nuisance, I don't need to waste time on recognizing them when they're super young as being a nuisance, because as soon as they start making waves, it will be within the entertainment media that I control or on the social media platforms that I control. If anything like that existed now, and if they recognized anyone as being let's say, somebody with a big enough following, like, for example, Andrew Wilson, whatever, right? They could have taken him out long ago already. Like, they would have known how the algorithms work, or the algorithm would have given them a warning, and they would have been like, whoa, 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 this guy is kind of like building an army, and he's kind of militant, and he's saying things that a lot of people are like listening to him. He's, very kind of, he's got that kind of charisma, he's got those oratory skills, and we think he's going to be a problem. Let's shut him down right now. Or if they were biased to the other side, people like, for example, I don't know, some tard like Destiny or whoever, they would have taken these people out long ago if that was their goal, if that's what they wanted to do. And you don't need an army of genius kids that you've identified to do that for you. But if you want to create influencers, I don't think that they would want to be investing the time, the money, the effort, and the resources to identifying these kids when they can just let them do their thing on social media or other platforms, and then be like, these guys have got the motivation. Now that they've identified themselves, let's bring them in and control them and mold them and get them to do what we want them to do. And that, I think, is happening. That we know is happening. There's people who are being recognized on YouTube platforms or elsewhere, and somebody comes along, makes them an offer, and all of a sudden they start singing a different tune because they've been paid enough money. And you can do that when you don't invest all of the money into the resources of trying to catch them when they're young and groom them and teach them and do it via this GATE program type thing. The GATE program, I guess, could still be real. But here's my issue with it. They had two highly, highly, highly effective training schemes, which came out, I think, in the late 80s or early 90s. And they were this was the time when everybody had things you'd be selling cassette tapes and be like, oh, hey, this is a 12-week program. It's going to turn you into genius when it comes into, for example, learning a new language, right? Or here's a new program and it will turn you into genius because it will teach you how to do long, complex equations for maths in your head, or how to remember things, how to develop something along the lines of an eidetic memory, right? And here's the funny thing. There was loads of them that were bullshit, but there was two that were actually effective. And I'll try and find the names for you, and I'll try and I'll either put it in the chat when I remember them, or I'll message it to you, and maybe we can talk about it next week. But there were two. One was for learning maths, and it would literally turn your brain into a fucking calculator. And the other one was for developing that memory, a fucking like a safe, dude. Anything that's in there, you'll never forget it. You can access it super quick. Both of those programs were this thing that you'd pay, I don't know, $70 for or whatever, and you'd receive 12 cassette tapes or some shit like that. And if you put the effort in, you'd learn those skills. They were taken off the market, even though they were super successful, and all of the reviews. And this was back in the day before you could like fake reviews by doing like review bombing. Everybody was saying this is amazing, this is the best thing ever. Can I have more? I want to buy it for my class. I'm a teacher. Can I have? And they were like, no, sorry, unfortunately, we're not selling it. And it's like,
Is it this
gone out of
one?
business. Gone out of business.
The Mind Palace technique?
No, it was called something. Mind Palace technique works, but it isn't for everybody, and it's kind of not difficult to learn how to do, but it's not kind of remembering things in a very convenient way. You have to be very visual for it to work for you. So it doesn't work for everyone. But this other system, it was called something like magic memory or something like that. I can't remember. I'll try and find it. But that shit was, anyone could do it. That's the funny thing. Anyone. It doesn't matter if you're not a visual learner or if you're more like a repetitive learner. It works for anybody. It was so super effective. And the other one, the mathematical one, I'll try and remember what that is. But there was a dude literally who was on TV trying to sell it. He went on to some daytime TV show, and he was like, pick any number you want, key it into a calculator. Now, what do you want to do? Multiply, divide, subtract, add. What do you want to do? And somebody picked it. Goes, right, okay, now type another number. It can be anything. It can be like 6 digits. It can be as long as you want, right? So they typed another number. He goes, now pick another multiplication, addition, whatever you want. And now pick another number. And he gave something like 5 numbers. And he was like, right, now press equals and this will be the number. And he instantly says what the number is. So then you think to yourself, okay. He was just calculating it while he was asking the other person to think the numbers, right? Maybe not that impressive. But then he would say, hit equals again and equals again. And this is the factor that you're doing. And every time the person's hitting equals, he's saying the number instantly, and he's carrying on like repeating that factor of the equation again and again and again and again and again. And like, it was baffling. This guy, everyone was like, this guy's a genius. He goes, I'm not a genius. My IQ is only like, and he said what his IQ was, and it wasn't anything that impressive. And then he was like, and here are my records when I was in school. I was a failure at maths. I was a failure at this. I had to figure out a way of learning this. My dad helped me. My dad wanted to teach me. And it's a system that anyone can learn. Now, I remember hearing about this a while back, and I looked into why the fuck it was shut down. And everybody said, yeah, we've had multiple systems for teaching maths, for helping people with their memory, for teaching people to learn new languages, and all of them are highly effective. We've got ways of accessing people to get a kind of higher level of learning. We deliberately do not want to teach it to people because people will be too empowered. I've heard
about this.
Yeah. So they deliberately do not want so one of the funniest things is if you look at countries that have entered the European Union, right? Look at people's standards of teaching. Look at various countries' standards of teaching. Look at various countries' scores when it comes to things like literacy, mathematics, and any other subjects. Look at how they perform across the board when it comes to primary schools and when it comes to secondary or high school or higher education, university, things like that. As soon as they joined the European Union, within a span of about 5 to 10 years, it tanks. And the funny thing is that you'll find that it levels out with any other country that's the member of the European Union. Okay? America did the same thing post the 1990s. Up until the 1980s, England's educational system was amazing, and America wanted to achieve that level of education. America tried to copy largely when it came to any kind of social thing. They wanted to copy the model that Britain had. But then America caught up to it by the end of the 1980s, I would say. America kind of did pretty much reach the peak that England had set and then began to exceed that. what started happening then was very interesting. England decided to go against everything great that it had achieved and built. And throughout the 90s, it started dive bombing hard. The schools started failing. We adopted standardized systems of standardization that were deliberately lowering everything. So like, oh, we want to standardize everything across the board. And instead of elevating these schools that are failing or these areas and districts that aren't performing as well, we're going to lower the bar. So we're going to prevent the good schools from doing as well.
Mm-hmm.
And now everything's equaled out. Instead of investing more in failing schools, they were lowering passing grades and saying, oh, wow, this school's fantastic now because everyone's getting A grades. It's like, yeah, because you lowered the bar. And a passing grade in university went from being something along the lines of 85% for a pass, and it got lowered gradually first to around 75%. And people complained because that's a 10% drop in an expectation that you're saying that.
Mm-hmm.
And then quickly within about 5 years, it dropped to 60. Then it dropped to 50. Then it dropped to 40%. And last I checked, you can get a passing grade, you can get a degree by getting around 40% in university. So you can fail on more than half of the shit that they ask you about, and you still get a pass. You still get a degree and you're qualified. And you know less than half of what you're expected to know. That is fucking shocking.
Yeah, I think these are two different issues. The GATE program is one issue.
But what I'm saying is if that's the way the country decided to go, you got to ask yourself, right, okay, we know that they can perform better because they did.
Yeah, for sure.
And
they
America
literally tune it up and down, the intelligence of a nation.
Yeah. And you got to ask what was going on for these countries to do that. Well, like, why did these countries do that? Like, what was the purpose of it?
My theory, if you want to hear, my theory is they need people just enough not to question authority and to shut up and do their job, which, if you think about it, most jobs require very little processing power and intelligence. Most jobs shouldn't even require a degree, and they know this. They know they don't need super intelligent people, because super intelligent people usually, if they also have, what's it called? Like, they question authority. They're not, what's that word? Like, not cooperative, but like where they want to please other people, whatever it is, like seeking approval. If they have the quality where they're combative, right? And like they question whatever, and they're intelligent, then they become dangerous. A dumb person who questions everything is no longer a threat. So they have to either like pluck out the people before they become threats and then train them to work for them and to not question their authority if they can, or stifle them early, and then make everybody else who doesn't really stand out for anything as malleable, complacent, to do menial labor jobs as possible. To be like I won't question anything. I'll just do as I told. I'm not going to be a problem for the system.
Right.
And making everybody really easy to control. And also like right now, and I think I told you this, now kids are relying on AI, and AI is lying to them, like outwardly lying to them.
Here's why I don't necessarily think that the GATE program is that thing. And the reason why is in my university, one of my friends who's he was Turkish guy by birth, but he basically got scouted by British intelligence in university, and they approached him, and he ended up working for the government. I think I've spoken about him before. I didn't want to say too much about where he works or what he does, but it was because I mean, there was some aptitude, some particular kind of skills that he demonstrated while he was at university, but predominantly it was because he spoke many languages.
Mhm.
Again, not a highly intelligent guy. Actually, he's kind of spectacularly dumb. But
Perfect for them.
well, that's the thing, like incredibly dumb decisions. And I'm not just talking about in how he doesn't really think that deeply about stuff, but
Mhm.
other things that you'd think would make him not a good pick to work for the government. Really shitty impulse control, really poor decision making, addictions, okay, substance abuse stuff.
Mhm.
Had the most, I mean, okay, this guy looks wise, not spectacular, not the best looking guy. I would say pretty average, okay? Didn't have much going for him in the looks department, like to be like he wasn't like, you know, there was nothing really wrong with him, but very plain, okay? But his girlfriend was a solid 8.5 or a 9, okay?
Honeypot. Thank you.
Punching way above his weight. Way above his weight. I'm like, dude, like, how did you trick this chick? Like, I was thinking to myself, you must have, like, dude, you got to be hung like a fucking horse. What's your secret, right? Now, he had all that going for him. He was with this girl for a few years.
Mhm.
While we were at uni, gets invited to a friend's wedding. And in the middle of that wedding, just lets some random chick who he first met on that, like only that day they just met,
Mhm.
he lets her go down on him under their table. And his girlfriend finds out about it.
Okay.
She was sitting next to him
Oh God.
when he's getting a blowjob from this chick. And he actually told me, well, when I found out they broke up, I'm like, what the fuck happened? He actually told me when I was like, oh shit. He told her because he wanted to be honest with her, right? And then I'm like, why did you tell her this bit though? He mentioned to her, because she's like, when? He's like, under the table at the wedding. But when? And then he told her, like, when you were sitting next to me. And he even told her, and we were holding hands.
Oh
Oh,
God.
why would you add that bit? Why would you add that bit? So yeah, the guy, well, I'm like, dude, you're so dumb. When I found out he was working for British intelligence, I was like, oh my God, we don't have any intelligence. But
I have a story about that.
right. Go ahead.
No, I too have met people who are intelligent, and the amount of intelligence they have is zero. Negative. It's just they either know lots of languages really quickly, and
Yep.
they are maybe like a little bit paranoid or hyper aware of stuff, and they are easy to control because they seek approval from their bosses and their coworkers and their peers and stuff like that. And they, like this is like the amount of intelligence that intelligence really needs. The people who are very, very intelligent, maybe they're not like out in the field. They're like, looking at information or whatever in some facility. But the people who are out there, like these agents, they usually are a little bit psychopathic, narcissistic, multiple personalities. Like they can disassociate, they can be different people, they can control their body, and not care. Like for somebody to do something like that, you have to disassociate. You have to be like, this is not happening to everyone else while this is happening in front of everybody. Like that is not a normal human ability.
They don't nowadays. Like nowadays, like most of those jobs don't really get done anymore. You don't really need that. This is when people are talking about AI.
What type of jobs?
That kind of those kind of field agent roles.
Intelligence, like high IQ type.
Yeah. Like when it comes to the analysts and stuff like that, when it comes to the data gatherers, when it comes to the spies going out there and doing that shit, most of that, like when people are saying, oh, who's going to be replaced by AI or by tech, not necessarily AI, but like the tech roles, that stuff over the past like 15 to 20 years, that stuff, those roles have gone down massively. People, like the TV shows that you watch, the films that you watch, I know for a fact that shit doesn't happen anymore. You like those roles don't really exist anymore. And the roles of like the secret agent dude going out and doing that stuff, it does exist. It's not really as glamorous as you see in the movies and shit like that. But again, those roles largely, especially over the past 15 to 20 years, have been largely outsourced to like contract workers. Like you don't really have like a government agent doing that. It's usually a contractor who doesn't know who the fuck he's doing it for, who the hell he's working for, because that is very convenient in case he gets caught.
Mm-hmm.
In case he gets caught, he doesn't know who he's working for. He's just a contractor who's going to do a job and put it somewhere at a dead drop, and then somebody else is going to come for it. And it largely means that, like, you know, there's no point torturing these people. There's no point like wasting them, because you might want to use them in the future. So they use these operatives that are like just like they'll work for anyone. Like and it's just a very, very convenient way if you think about it. If you think about it, people are going to constantly need these contractors. They don't really get wasted because they don't know anything. They don't even know who they work for. And the people who usually end up catching them are like, right, okay, to get free, for us to let you go, you're going to do a job for us. Like, we want you to do this. So it's like, it's a very convenient way of doing things. And again, you don't need to waste time training them.
No, I know of not a superiorly intelligent, but of a narcissist that worked as a two of them that worked as contractors, you know, looking at information like that and trying to find stuff like that. So yeah, that happens too. And
but just think about it. If we're talking about the GATE program,
yeah,
like, first of all, I saw DK Moon saying Emperor Damon would do a pretty good job, like, earlier on in the chat.
did he?
I would be like a dictator, but I would be like a really nice, benevolent dictator.
The first one is, and then their progeny is the problem.
Well, no, see, I think that you need a dictator. Like, see, the benevolent dictator would essentially be a king.
Mm-hmm.
And it works. Monarchies work if they're proper monarchies. Our one doesn't work because our monarchy basically handed their balls over to the government, thinking that would be a good idea. But if you're a king, the country is yours. So any choices you do, any investments, it's for yourself. Like, you want your country to be successful. You don't want your country to be overrun by people from shithole countries.
Okay.
You
Let's
want to
not make
protect your borders.
everything about you being pissed.
I'm not. Hey, I'm not pissed. I'm just a realist. We've got shithole country invaders coming over.
I'm like, we're going to be talking about the Gateway program. How long is Damon going to take?
Uh,
Bring up
okay.
how Britain's turned to shit.
But no, okay, I'm glad Ethan agrees with me, and I'm sorry that we've got a coward running this stream who doesn't want to say stuff that's going to get her in trouble. But okay, look, I didn't even mention the Jews. But anyway.
Oh my God. No. We're not doing that.
No, I'm not mentioning them. Stop. Look, you can lower your anti-Semitic walls. I'm not saying anything about them. Okay. Anyhow. Yeah, so with the Gateway program, getting back on topic, yes.
Yeah, I got some clips, though.
Okay, we can do that. Just, if you think about how this standardization was done across Europe and how it was also done in the UK, in America after that, right? Because America, don't forget, like, you guys exceeded Britain when it came to that. You were doing better. And then we decided that we were going to try and copy you guys after a while, because the public were like, hey, we were doing great. Now America, who we used to make jokes about because it was so dumb, now they're doing better than we are. Like, what's happened here? Either we're declining or they're overtaking us. We need to fix this. Mm-hmm. And you guys started setting the standard. And then our schools started copying shit from you guys, like the SATs that you do. We started... Our kids started doing that. and other things that you were doing. Now, again, it wasn't working very well. It was a new way of teaching. Either our teachers didn't get it or understand it, or they were retarded because, like I said, many of them came from these shithole countries.
Oh my God.
A lot of our kids couldn't speak the language properly. Like English people, the literacy was failing. Everything was failing. But then you see this, again, standardization that went like across the Atlantic. You guys started going down again. We remember when your teachers, there was that famous video that went viral of that school kid who was just absolutely nuking his teacher, saying, "You don't give a fuck. You get a packet and you just read the packet. You're teaching us from packets." Do you remember that video?
I never saw that.
It was amazing. This student just absolutely fucking wrecked his teacher. And it was because he wanted to learn. And he was like telling the teacher off, saying, "You don't give a fuck about teaching us."
Yeah, that kid would be funneled to the program that we're talking about for sure.
But here's the thing.
Mhm.
Why is it that you will have people like the guy who I mentioned in university who got scouted, other kids that I've heard about, my cousin in his class, there was a kid who was about 17 years old, and he got scouted by a government agency as well, because he was very, very good when it came to computers. So he gets scouted and recruited as well. And you see this happening in America as well. When I was in America, there were 3 kids that I heard about within the space of about 2 years, maybe, that got scouted by the government. If they come in and just scout you and they're like, "Hey, we want you to work for us. Hey, we want you to come with us, and we're gonna you're gonna be working for us now." If that happens, what's the point of the GATE program?
There's more than one way to skin a cat, Damon.
I know, but the
look,
thing is that why invest in a program where you can just pop in?
remember, there's multiple factions that rule the world. There's maybe like, and I feel like it's familial. So let's say like the this mafia, the that mafia, the this family, the that family, you know, and they intermarry, but their children, like maybe the firstborn gets the power of the family, and then the subsequent children are fighting amongst each other for little territories power. And that's why you have all of this problems, because the elites have had too many children and there's not enough power spots to go around. And when this happens, it creates them fighting with each other, and then they fight with those who are even above them, the elites, and then they're fighting amongst each other. That's why, like, you are never safe. The kings and the queens and the emperors and all the rulers of this world, they are never safe.
They are safe. They are safe.
No, they're not, because
yes,
they're all related and they're all family, but they are still in competition with each other for power, because there's not that much power.
No, they look, they're all in it together. They're not competing for the power. They've been sharing it for a long time.
Okay,
no,
well,
they're not.
We differ. Okay,
they're not. Why? What's the main powerful thing they want? What's the main thing they all want?
They want power over specific people, and there's not that much power.
To what end? To what end? To what end?
To their own narcissism, to their own like fame, to their own like, everybody needs a purpose, right?
Yeah. So what do you think they're most afraid of then?
Losing
if you
power.
think no, most afraid of. Most afraid. No. Hang on a second. Think about it, right? You want to talk conspiracy theories?
Okay.
I'll tell you something. And any of you can go look out there and tell me how I'm wrong or why I'm wrong. But what would you be most afraid of if your whole life has been about chasing power?
Keeping it.
Right. And how would you not end up keeping it? If you're building a whole empire, when would you lose it? How would you lose it?
Other children of people in power.
No, think about what we've been talking about when it comes to things like adrenochrome and all this other shit.
No, we're not talking about that stuff.
No, we're not necessarily talking about that. But why are those things? But why are those things being talked about? What's the purpose of all of that?
It doesn't matter. That's not what we're talking about.
What's going on in tech? Where's the most investments going into?
longevity and stuff like that.
Yes.
Because
So
they
death.
don't want to give up power.
Death. No, it's not about,
Yes.
they all know that their whole pursuit is going to end when they die. So this is why all of the research.
They don't want to go to their children because they've become too
Yes,
hyper narcissistic.
but, okay, so you want to talk conspiracy theories? Here, this is it. All of this stuff, including MK Ultra, right?
Oh boy, how are we?
What was MK? What?
Okay.
What?
Now we're in transhumanism. Go on.
No, but okay. Look at what MK Ultra was about. What everybody was talking about, what MK Ultra was about. What do you think it was about?
It was about learning how to control the population with psyops.
That's all it was about. What do you think the soldiers? What were the soldiers on? What programs did they have the soldiers on? What were they doing?
Oh, I have a video on it.
Yeah, what were they doing? Just break it down quickly. What were the soldiers learning?
Learning?
Yeah.
I don't know if it says they were
not just the soldiers, but anyone, even the civilians that were put on it. What were they learning?
They were learning how to use trauma to make people easy to control, to incite compliance.
Yeah, but they even did the psychic assassins shit.
Yeah,
did
that's more the
remote
program.
viewing.
Bring it on.
The remote viewing, right?
Yes.
So everyone was like,
that's that.
Yeah. And what was happening? The psychic assassins and the remote viewers, the whole idea was we're going to teach you to basically look at somebody else. And they tried to make it very logical. They tried to make it sound like it's legit. It's a science, right? Oh, just by looking at them and giving them specific looks, you're making them feel uncomfortable and you begin influencing them. And you can influence their heart rate and their blood pressure until you can basically stop their heart just by giving them a specific look with certain micro expressions and shit like that. And then other members of the group, they were saying, no, it's a psychic ability. By looking into them and by you doing like quick breaths, rapid breaths, you're making them nervous and you're raising their blood pressure until their heart basically explodes in their chest. There was all this bullshit. The Men Who Stare at Goats was that a film by, I think it was the Coen brothers, I can't remember, where they tried to kind of like parody it a little bit, but others were saying, actually, no, there's a lot of the shit that's in that's true. There was documented evidence of soldiers apparently being able to stop the heart of rats. All kinds of shit. But then it was about remote viewing as well. And they were saying, what is this for? Well, this is so that we've got spies who can basically spy on Russian generals and shit like that without even leaving the confines of a room. They can astral project and basically remote view what these guys are doing on the other side of the planet. Right. And it's all about reaching like a higher level of consciousness. And basically your spirit can leave your body and access that extra dimensional place. And you can view people from the other part of the world and saying, oh, it's completely real. It's completely real. And they had documents to prove that this was real and it was working. And people were saying, oh, yeah, but those documents could be forged. The people doing the research could lie about it. Right. Mm-hmm. But you need to look at what else was going on at that same time. OK, any evidence, any scientific breakthroughs that get made to the public, especially medical breakthroughs, for example, when it comes, when the World Health Organization starts talking about it, or when you see researchers publish with journals, when it becomes public knowledge, you can bet your ass that on average, it has been known or it has been done, or that breakthrough occurred about 20 years before you actually hearing about it. Okay. Now, if you can understand that, and if you recognize that, you need to think, or you need to accept the fact that the first cloning experiment that we heard about in the 90s about Dolly the sheep, that would have occurred most likely in the 70s. Yeah.
For sure.
And you must also accept the fact that they were probably doing it at least another 15 years before that, before they had one that was successful and stable enough and not genetically fucked up and horrific looking, where it came out successfully and it survived longer than a few days. Okay? So human cloning would be the next natural progression. And if you think that they cloned Dolly the sheep in the 90s,
Oh, yeah.
and all this time later they still haven't cloned a human being, you need to ask yourself why you genuinely believe that.
Yeah, for
Okay?
sure they have. They've been doing it
Yes.
for a long time. They've
Right.
made animal human hybrids. They've done all this
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Of course.
So the thing that we need to understand now with that knowledge, or with that, it's not knowledge because we don't have proof, but just common sense.
Mhm.
It's what people would call a theoretical or a philosophical proof.
Mhm.
It's the most likely thing to have occurred beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt. Now, if you know that, you would be able to understand that human cloning was highly probable, highly likely was going on, and we already had human clones or were capable of that technology at the time MK Ultra was happening. And the people who invested the money, the people who were backing all of this stuff, if you look at the money that was behind a lot of people who were funding cloning experiments and cloning research, and also the people who were behind putting the laws in place for things like CRISPR, like not wanting to, where it was controlling how you could manipulate DNA, right?
Mhm.
And the implications that could be happening, because it's like, if we've got the power, we want to make sure that nobody else has the power to do that as well. So we're going to make all these laws that we're going to be able to circumnavigate, but we don't want other people to have the power or the access to the power that we're now going to wield and control.
Mhm.
So if you think MK Ultra was going on at the same time, you need to ask yourself, could they be linked? Just as secretive. Okay. And if you actually
I'm
look,
going to get into that because I have some clips that one of them.
can I
Yeah.
can I first say something, because it might go, the stuff that you're showing might be going in a completely different direction from what it is. If you look at most of the people who gave accounts about the stuff that was going on during MK Ultra, and a lot of people who claim to have seen documents, and many people say, no, those documents are forged, they're not real documents, it's not really what was going on at MK Ultra. But the stuff that they were talking about, whether it be psychic assassins, whether it be astral projection, whether it be the mind altering effects and being able to read people's minds and all this stuff, it all seems to be saying, especially if you think about the people who were capable of doing that, the people who claimed to have achieved success when it came to things like the astral projection, many of those people are unreachable today, or have been confirmed to have died during the MK Ultra program. Okay. So there was, I think, 3 people that were spoken about who were used to spy on high-ranking officials that were Russian. And those 3 people were said to have died on mission. But other people claimed that the experiment was successful. And if you look at what was going on at that time, if you look at the era in which these 3 people were doing those missions, a lot of the accounts say that the stuff that Americans were worried about, or the goals that they wanted to achieve, or what they were hoping the Russians were going to do, actually, it all ended well. The Russians ended up doing what the Americans wanted. They were able to kind of have all of their outcomes met. So you think to yourself, this is because they obtained the information that the Americans wanted, but maybe they died after they obtained it. Like, it, in the course of achieving this goal. Now, many, many years later, certain people started saying things, and it was immediately shut down. It was immediately said this discredited. But the hints or the idea that they might have been trying to kind of convey was remote viewing was never the objective. Psychic assassination was never the objective. These people were never going to be spies. They weren't trying to read the minds of these Russian generals. What they were trying to do was project into the mind of the Russian general, get into their head, and displace the personality and overtake the body from within. That's what it's going to be doing. Like, you're basically a body snatcher. You can possess that person and suppress their mind, or basically erase their mind, but you are now inhabiting them and controlling them. And you have access to their knowledge. You have access to all of that, but you're now controlling the body. That's what they were saying it was actually about. That was the goal. And it wasn't necessarily to control your opponent and overtake his body, but it was because it was the way they wanted to achieve immortality. And it's the way, the whole reason why this program came to being is once they gained the ability to clone the human body, they would clone themselves, but it's not enough to just say, I will live on because I have a child that's a replica of me, physically identical to me. They wanted to actually have that youth, to control that body, to control that child. Okay? They wanted to be in that child. Now, there was a theory that certain people had that if you achieve the ability to do this, to clone yourself, but then to somehow mentally project your mind into that new young body and take it over and control it, you now have a second body and you can live your whole life again. But you would need to protect yourself. You would need a way of saying, look, fuck that. I don't want to waste time in school again. I don't want to go through education again. I don't want to go through all of that. I know everything. I want to fast track to success. That's when people started saying, you're going to have some kind of accelerated program, some kind of gifted class where all of these kids can go to, where they're all basically equal. Like we all know why we're here, and we all know who we are. We know that we're clones. We know that this is now my third or fourth body that I'm on. And I'm just basically living life all over again.
Okay. So you said your piece. That was very long. Let me show some clips from the gateway clips, and then we will discuss.
Oh, you've got a simp in chat. Somebody fancies you. Somebody fancies you. He's upset that I didn't let you talk for a while.
It was 30 minutes, Damon.
How long did I let you talk before I jumped on here? And even then, I was waiting for about 20 minutes before you said anything.
Oh my God. Anyways, let's hear.
The whole point of the gifted
Oh, wait, hold on. Am I?
intelligence program was to recruit you into the NSA, the DOD, and other government intelligence agencies. Don't believe me? Let's look at receipts. Remember when you had to solve the code, solve the cipher using substitution method, shift method? Sometimes it was in Russian. Well, you did that in elementary and high school. So when you got to college, you could be a part of the NSA code breaking challenge. Remember when you did logic puzzles and logic comparisons, and then you had computer class and you had to deal with algorithms? It was a scaffolding approach. You ever heard of Cyber Patriot? At the bottom, it says it's all about inspiring K through 12, kindergarten through 12th grade students in cyber careers. Sounds great, right? Well, who is their biggest sponsor? Northrop Grumman, another huge government contractor. Ever heard of Math Counts program? Well, it's math programs for grades 6 through 8 students in the U.S. Sounds good. Just, improve attitudes on solving math problems, right? Well, who is it financed by? The Department of Defense. Interesting. Remember you were into robotics and robotics competitions at school and learning about it? It's an organization called FIRST. They're the world's leading youth robotics community. Seems harmless. Well, who's FIRST sponsors? Look at the bottom there, the DOD. Remember how they really wanted you to learn another language? Some of the codes that you broke were in Russian, using Russian characters. Why do they want you to do that? Why do they want you to focus on learning another language? It's a program called Star Talk. What is it? Federal grant program managed and funded by who? The National Security Agency. You can't make it up.
Okay. And there was, hold on.
Okay. I understand. I gotta say, I understand why people today might think this is creepy, this is scary, right? But
Mhm.
there's a couple of things that you need to think about. We're living in a different day and age now to like 20 or 30 years ago when a lot of this stuff was happening. It's still happening today, I agree. But when the way he was saying, do you remember when like you guys were in school and you were doing this stuff? Like, so he's talking about previous generations.
No, all these
older-
programs were around when I was in school.
Yeah, me too. And that just goes to show, like, you got to be aware that when you were in school, when I was in school, our parents largely trusted the government.
Yes. Well, they didn't
Okay.
have time. They were both working. It was
It's not just they didn't have time, it was a different age. The government didn't lose our trust or betray our trust at that point. Not like they have been doing recently. Okay.
yeah.
Imagine a day and age where your leaders know what a woman is. That's the day and age that we grew up in.
Mhm.
No, but that's the day and age we
but
grew
you
up
have
in.
to
Like,
understand all of this. They are orchestrating all these little things to kind of split our minds because I'm not going to play it or anything, but you guys can look into it. Chase Hughes, he's like a ex-government 3-letter government agency person that teaches manipulation and all that stuff. And he just released like an 11-minute video basically talking about all the psyops and how they would say they would do things like, we're trying to help people with PTSD, and then they were doing psyops on them, or we're trying to help your kids, and then they would do psyops on them, or we're trying to help whatever it is, right? This population, the homeless or whatever. And then they would just do like some of the most horrific psyops on people. And he's talking about how like they basically figured out from all of this experimentation that if you make people incredibly easy to control, like you have to give them a lot of fear, instability. That's why they're always like saying, maybe there's going to be a bomb, maybe there's someone's going to drop one again, maybe this can but it's always like they know if they do that they destroy themselves. But it's like they have to. And they found out, like in the old times, he talks about it, like when people were reading newspapers, if they just put scary headlines, it was enough to control the population back then.
Well, they said you need them on the precipice.
Huh?
You need the public on that precipice of doom, right? They need to know that if they take one more step, they're going to fall over the edge and that's it. It's all over. But they'll have enough hope to know that they can still be saved. But you need them when they're on that edge of thinking, oh, it might be civil war tomorrow, or we could all be done tomorrow, like the meteor's going to hit tomorrow. But they're not there yet, and they still think they can save themselves. That is when they're going to be most eager to work for you and along with you and do what you say. They're going to be most malleable. They're so like easy to control, willing to do anything because they want to avoid that doom that they're afraid of. So that's the perfect level of fear to keep them under.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that historically, you see, it's unsustainable. There's only so much of a breaking point where no matter how well you engineer or condition them, if you can control every aspect of society other than the people, but if you can control everything around them, you can't keep them there teetering at the edge forever because they will get that level of burnout, number one. And number two, even if they manage to sustain it long enough without burning out, what you're going to happen and what history has shown is that following generation is going to absolutely reject everything that the previous generation believed in because they're going to know this is fucking insanity. We don't want to be like that. So you're going to have that counterculture revolution. And this is why you see now like the Gen Alpha people.
Yeah. Can I say something about them?
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I have direct access to these little guys, and they are adorable, by the way. First of all, they roast each other
Yeah.
for whatever your background is.
They
Like, they're like,
embrace
what
bullying.
are you? Okay, I'm gonna like rag on you for that. You're like this. They give like the same, like how when we were kids. I mean, I know we used to be like, what are you? Okay, we're gonna come up with an insulting nickname, and that's you
Yeah.
from now on. Everyone in
Yeah.
the group has an insulting nickname about their race or background or whatever it is. And if you're cool with that, you can join the group. So that's the first thing they do. The second thing they do is someone will say, oh, I heard this and this and this. And then someone else will be like, but who said it? Were they paid? Like, what why would they
Oh,
want
yeah.
us to believe that? And then they discuss it. This is insane. This is in front of me by themselves, no adult interfering. Why would they want us to think that? Oh, they're probably making money off of it. Of course, it's about the money. Like, this is the conversations that this generation
Yeah.
alpha is coming up with. And they are hilarious, and they're very intelligent, and they do not respect anyone. And they were talking about such and such was teaching us this and this and this about the world. And it's like, oh, look at her life. She's a loser. Why are we even listening to what she thinks? Why didn't she make any money if she knows what she's talking about? She's just a teacher. And I'm just like, I love these kids. They are so with it. You cannot manipulate this generation because they grew up. Their school was shut down. They told everybody, they told the children, everyone you love was going to be gone. And if they didn't take it, they were going to be gone. And they gave them
they
so
grew
much
up.
fear. And then they saw it didn't happen. And they're like, oh, these people are just full of shit. The first thing
Yeah.
they learned about the world was people are willing to shut down the world for a lie.
Well, if you look at Strauss-Howe generational theory, the stuff that we were talking about before, that book, The Fourth Turning, right, where it breaks down history into 80-year periods, where every 20 years you get a turning within an 80-year period, and then the cycle repeats, right? And you go through these different generational groups, which go from being like these kind of alpha heroes to being like these absolutely pathetic failures that like are afraid of everything, and like society collapses under them. And then you have like this rebirth with the alpha heroes, and then there's like the workers who now want to rebuild everything, and then you have like that period of people who inherit all of the great stuff that's been built, but then they become complacent, and then they get fearful and they turn into these losers again. If you look at that fourth turning thing, which has been historically proven, and it's exact almost down to the year, it holds on to this cycle, and it's because of exactly this. You see that generations, like as these new generations come in, as these new crop of kids will come in, they look at the predecessors and they will learn, and they learn these behaviors. Now, they don't emulate, but they learn from the behaviors. And if they like it, they will accept things. But there's certain things that they recognize this doesn't work. And they will take about 65% of what they think they like and what works. But then there's that 35% that they'll reject. Okay. And that's what forms this kind of basis for the next generation. And it comes through like slow, gradual changes. But you usually see that halfway through this 80 period cycle, you'll get these generations where suddenly that 65-35 split shifts to what they don't like and what they reject. Now, you've got a group of kids now, this Gen Alpha, who saw their predecessors being these slaves to their fucking mobile devices, constantly trying to chase likes and positive affirmation, and entirely dependent on what the rest of the world thinks of them, and trying to live up to that kind of standard that somebody else sets for what their existence is going to be. And this young generation is like, fuck that. I can't think of anything worse. I will absolutely reject that. And this is why they're behaving in such a way where they say, I don't fucking want people to like me. I don't want to live up to other people's expectations. I don't want to chase their approval. I am going to call them fucking losers. I'm going to ask, like, why the fuck are you such a slave? So now you're going to have this, again, this kind of punk rock rebellion where you're going to have this counterculture of everyone just being like, no, I'm a real rebel, which is kind of funny because the people today that are slaves to their mobile devices, chasing likes and shit, they're the ones. Like, look at the liberals out there. Look at all these fucking painted losers who all think that they're unique. You all look the motherfucking same. And how they're like, I'm a rebel, I'm not a slave. Like, yeah, like we think like we're fighting the power. You're not fighting the power. You're fucking slaves to the power. Like, you're literally carrying around printed placards that somebody else made, and you're carrying it around like a good little slave. How the fuck are you a rebel? How are you a rebel when everybody literally put every idea and slogan in your fucking head? It's like, you're not. What are you rebelling against? Like, everybody makes that joke about, especially Rage Against the Machine. I was like, yeah, they're Rage for the Machine, right? It's like all of these punk rock people, all of these fucking like artists and celebrities and everyone who used to be rebels, they turn out to be the biggest fucking shills for the corporations.
Yeah, but remember, a lot of them were the children of people who were in three-letter agencies. And we thought that, and they were running the counterculture. I mean, they were trying to influence the youth for something. I don't know what, but like, I still haven't figured that out. Like, why would you want people in listening to rock music and punk? And I guess it's to destabilize the family when you think about it. It could be that, like, something
it's
like
not
that.
one big
Or
goal.
maybe
It's
hate
not
your
one
parents.
big goal. It's millions of small goals.
Yeah.
That's why you can't really put a finger on what it is.
Family, promote promiscuity, promote just money and narcissism, you know, whatever. It's probably like a whole bunch of stuff wrapped into one. But it seems like the kids now are not falling for it. They literally will call, like, when you scroll on it, they're like, that's brain rot. We don't do that. And they'll call out each other when they see them scrolling too much. Like, you're getting influenced, you're getting programmed, stop brain rotting. And then they'll be like, oh my gosh, you're right, I'm so sorry. And then they come back and they have like the conversation again. They hang out with the friends.
Well, and you also don't forget how kids learn. Kids learn more effectively from seeing fuck ups than what works. Okay. If you see good behavior getting good results and good rewards as an adult, if you'd emulate that behavior. If you see as an adult somebody doing something and fucking up, you're not necessarily going to learn much from that. You don't really pay attention to that because as an adult, you think, I want to learn good lessons. I want to see what success is. I want to see successful people and I'll emulate what they do for success. So like, I'll make that work for me. When you're an adult, that's how you learn. You learn like, these are the best results. These are the actions that will get the best results. Think about it like if you go to the gym. You're going to look at how somebody who's got the best gains, what workouts get those best gains. You're not necessarily going to say, I want to look at who got the worst injuries and I want to make sure that I do anything but those things that get you injured. You're going to learn more from the success rather than the avoidance of failure. But as a child, the youth learns more from, that's how you get injuries. That's what doesn't work. That's what a fuck up is. I'm going to avoid the fuck ups. As a kid, you're like, I don't want to be homeless. I want to stay with mommy and daddy. I've got a house over my head. You know, I don't want to do that. Like the last kid who did that, he broke his leg and I saw the bone sticking out. I don't want to do that. Right. It's fear avoid. It's fear conditioning. It's avoidance of what's going to result in damage or pain. That's you learn by like, don't touch the hob. The hob is hot. You know, don't do that. Don't stick your finger. Like, how the fuck would I call it for you? I don't know the American word for it. A stovetop or whatever, right? Yeah. So that's how kids learn. So this is why, because this last generation, there's so many fucking losers. Like look, fucking eating Tide Pods, right? Like that kind of
millennials.
Stuff. Yeah, but like I'm just saying that this is like what this is how kids will learn. They look at all of these fuck ups, and it's an absolute rejection of the generation that came before. This is why, like, look, you know the recent release of like how so few people are now identifying as trans or non-binary.
Well, we're not talking about that, but yes, that has
No,
decreased.
but I'm just saying that goes to show they know that these people are fucking losers, and they're like, I don't want to cut my dick off.
It's not like a loser. It's not that. It's
losers.
No,
retarded,
no. Stop. It's
mentally ill,
it's that a lot of people are coming out and saying my
freaks.
parents, my mother, my narcissistic parent
Yeah.
influenced me to do it, or I was depressed, or I was undiagnosed autistic, or I was undiagnosed depression or schizophrenia or whatever, and then they push me in this path to kind of like get my parents to get attention or whatever. And then, or maybe I was a little narcissistic, and at the time you could get attention from doing this type of stuff. And I just felt lonely, and this was a way to get attention and to find a community. And then once the community and the attention went away, suddenly they're all like, I'm better now, because the attention and the community and the support and the you're so brave and wonderful, that got taken from them. And now it's just like them mutilated, and they're like, oh my gosh, what have I done? And then the people were coming and speaking out. I got influenced. I the TikTok algorithm,
It was
whatever.
a fad. It was a trend. That's it.
Yeah, it was a
It was a
trend.
trend.
Manipulation against weak, depressed, lonely people who might be a little bit like on the spectrum and just in a situation where they're easily used.
Well, first, the first thing is like they needed to make people think that they're on the spectrum. A lot of these people aren't on the spectrum, but do you remember
I think
like
we're
when they
all on the
created that
spectrum.
fad?
It's a
Well, they
spectrum.
no, we're not. No, we're not. It's not a spectrum. That's the first lie. It's not a spectrum. It's a grouping together of about 4 different conditions, one of which is particularly identified as not being autism. It's not autism. It's a behavior that's recognized as like autism, but it's absolutely not that. So you're taking people who are being diagnosed with a condition, or who used to be diagnosed with a condition that was recognized as not autism, and you're grouping it into a condition which you are now calling autistic spectrum disorder. Why are you putting a category of people that are not specifically recognized as not being autistic on the autistic spectrum? Why are you doing that? When you understand that, you'll realize how corrupt this whole fucking thing is.
Yeah, because then everyone can be on it, and then everyone can qualify for
exactly.
whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I get that, of course. But there are some people that are a little more susceptible to influence, and they don't question authority, and they're a little bit lonely and in need of approval and community, and I feel like they're vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. But you're also allowing you're allowing people to create an identity for themselves on social media where they can portray themselves as being whatever they want to be. Okay. And this kind of became very well known when they said things like put pronouns in your bio, right? Nobody can question you about it. Nobody can say anything. Ethan, you're doing God's work. Bless you. Bless you, dude. So yeah, like when you get people to do that, they suddenly started to realize, hey, I can put something profound here. I can put something really huge about myself, and nobody can question me. Nobody's allowed to. And then you started noticing people proudly putting up saying, I'm autistic, right? I'm autistic. Yeah. I've got this syndrome. I've got this disorder. I've got this. And I'm like, I found that Damien, funny when I first saw it.
I know, but you know why that they do that too? Like the other
reason.
No, it's not. It's not even that deep. It's literally because the algorithm, you have to have a niche. So in order to get attention online, you have to be like this. I'm the plus size model. I'm the Mexican midget with 1 foot. I'm like you need to brand yourself. And a lot of these kids are learning very young. I have to come up with a brand immediately when I'm a child.
Yeah,
and
but the
then
thing
they
is
get
like,
all in and sucked into it.
Do you remember back in the day? I can agree with that. I can agree with that to some degree, but here's where it becomes problematic. Do you remember when having a brand, like when it had to be good and it had to be cool? Like, do you remember that? The reason why I was laughing when I saw it is because in school, when I was in school, one of the worst things was to be retarded. Like
Yes.
you would insult people, but you're a retard. You're a retard.
Well,
Like
I
if
mean, I
somebody
feel
was
like
like,
it was just like you're a dumbass or whatever. I don't think it was
yeah,
that
but
deep.
we used to say to people, like, dude, like, you know, clean the window before you lick it, right? We used to
I
say
know,
shit like,
but that word literally just means like less intelligent, and it's like calling someone dumb.
yeah, but like, well, okay, we were told roughly every year. I remember when I was in school, because that's when they started pushing the political correctness shit. The word police came along. It's like, you can't call people. See, one of my favorites was spastic. You can't call somebody a spastic anymore, right? And I was a kid. I was
Spastic
probably
is
like,
that like spacey or like disorganized or
no,
something?
spastic is like your arms are flopping around and your arms look like chicken wings and you can't move properly, like cerebral palsy, like crippled,
Okay,
right?
okay.
Right.
Oh
So
God,
like, yeah, like
I was using that so wrong. Then go on.
yeah. So like you couldn't call people a spastic anymore. Like this is like the whole like you know, you can't even talk right, can't do nothing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, your DNA is fucking fucked, right? So like what?
And then Trump did those motions all over the television.
Yeah, that was
Oh my
Trump
God.
copying the spastic. Yeah. So, but the thing is that you had a charity that was literally called the Spastic Society, right? So it wasn't an offensive word because those people were spastics, right? But then people started using the word as an insult. So all of a sudden, you can't call it that anymore. I don't know if the Spastic Society came up with a new name, but then I think the next word that was given to them was something like cripple. I don't know. Maybe it's cripple, maybe it's something else. But then kids started using the word cripple as a slur because, like, we're not allowed to say spastic anymore. So I guess we're going to call you a fucking cripple.
Look,
And then
it's
it's like,
never gonna end. Like
yeah.
kids will find
So,
the
and
next
this is
word.
like, why change the words when whatever you come up with, like it was retard, and you had like, you know, the charity for retards or whatever, like, you know, and then like the retard foundation or whatever. But then it's like, hey, dude, you're a retard. You can't say retard anymore. Okay, so what the fuck can we say? Oh, well, they're mentally challenged or they're disabled. Fine. Disabled becomes a slur. Mentally challenged becomes a slur. Then what do they call you? Like, oh, okay, you're differently abled. Guess what I'm going to call you now? Are you differently abled or something? Right? Whatever. It doesn't matter what kind of euphemism you come up with. It doesn't matter how sweet you make the word, right? Stunning and brave. We start calling people stunning and brave on the internet now to
As an
fucking insult them.
Yes.
Yeah, you're so stunning and brave, right? Like you're one of God's special little people, right? Like it doesn't matter what the fuck you come up with, we will turn it into an insult. I can call you the nicest thing, but I'll say it in such a way that it will ruin your fucking life because I can turn, and we can all turn anything into a fucking insult.
Yes.
So like, why police this shit? Like, the minute you take something away from someone, they're going to figure out a way to weaponize the new thing that they have.
Exactly. So anyways, let's continue with some more gate stuff to like finish off the stuff I wanted to show. So anyways, one of the parts of the gate program, I'm not going to play the video, I'll just tell you about it, is they used to give us something called the pink drink, right? And the pink drink, it just happened to look pink. So that's what we called it because we would see it, right? And
was it Kool-Aid?
Nobody knows what it is. They wouldn't tell us, and we were not allowed to deny it, right? So we were forced to drink a liquid and basically told if you didn't do it, you would get in trouble or you would get yelled at or something. And I
do you remember what happened afterwards?
No, you
them
also
touching you?
Huh?
Them touching you?
Okay, shut up, Damon.
What?
No.
Well, you said you don't remember what happened afterwards.
No. Like a lot of people do not have memories after they drank pink drink,
Yeah,
right?
you all got me too'd.
Like maybe, but nobody remembered. So whatever. Or they did that so they can like mind control us, make you sleeper cells. Like there's a lot of theories. There's a lot of reasons other than that that people would want you to forget something, at least
This
consciously.
wasn't a CIA program. This was just the precursor to Epstein's Island.
This was just Epstein's Island, and like, I don't know,
It's like,
because
we're going
there's
to
some
figure
things,
out which kids are the best that we're going to take to the island, and then the party begins.
you know what? I mean, that's another theory that's absolutely, I think it could
I
be
kind of feel
possible.
bad for you now. You thought that you were going to be this CIA super spy, and in the end, it turns out that you realized that you got rejected by a pedo. You didn't
Who
make it
knows?
to the
Who
island.
knows?
You weren't hot enough, or whatever. I don't know. Like,
We don't
nah,
know.
fuck this.
We don't
She's
know.
too old.
I was a
Her
kid.
arms are too fat and wobbly.
Oh my
Like,
God, stop. Anyways, so the pink drink, a lot of people think it was fluoride, right? Because another
okay.
pink drink that looked kind of similar that they would give kids, they would say it was to see if like your teeth have plaque or some crap. I don't know,
Yeah.
like a bunch of
It
garbage.
wasn't your teeth that they were looking at.
Who knows? Anyways, so before you would do like their mind control garbage, they would make you drink the pink drink, right?
Yeah.
So then you
Drink
wouldn't
this,
really
kids.
remember much.
It will loosen your butthole. I mean, we can look at your teeth better.
Yeah. Anyways, so one of the things that I found interesting when looking into fluoride is in the like the ghettos or whatever, when they would round up people, certain people we're not talking about, they would pump the water with high amounts of fluoride. And this is like the bad kind, not the one that comes in nature, right? You know, the industrial waste. Yes. Exactly. So they would pump that in there. And one of the theories is it makes people either more compliant. There's some theories that it lowers
That
your
failed.
who knows? That it
That
lowers your
failed.
like
Wait,
psychic
you said they
ability.
pumped it into the ghettos and they thought it was
No,
going to
no.
make them more compliant.
We don't know what it does, but these are theories. And
Okay.
anyways, so the other thing was I found out that, you know, Prozac and a lot of these drugs, they're actually derivatives of this industrial waste, this fluoride, right? So it makes you think like, okay, maybe because you know how like the hippies would be like, it affects your pineal gland and your psychic aura or whatever the hell they're talking about. Like
Wait,
when
did
they're
you say penile gland?
I don't know. What is it
Pineal
called?
gland.
Pineal. Close enough, Damon. Anyways, so like they're like it like calcifies your psychic ability gland, whatever. And it's funny
Well,
that
it
a
does.
lot of
It
these
does, though.
a lot of these antipsychotic drugs or depression drugs also do that and also are made out of this substance, which is just interesting when you think about that. Anyways, so maybe because not everybody was told to drink the drink. Some kids were told to drink the drink, some kids were not told to drink the drink, and at different times and whatever. Then you also have like they would give us these headphones. Let me see. Oh. So he has like one of the machines, supposedly, allegedly, we don't know. So there's these machines
Weird
that
size. That twin of missing.
okay. So these machines we would put like little headsets on, and it was kind of like, I don't know if it's like binaural beats or hemisync or something like that. It was supposed to make you more psychic, we think, because they would make us do that. It was the most long, and part of the reasons why people have like time memory problems was because these tapes they force us to listen to for sometimes hours and hours, and you're in a dark room with like padded walls around you, so you're just stuck in this little cubby with people in black or whatever on along the walls staring at you, like making sure you don't like get up, you don't like get distracted, you don't look at anything else, you have to just look at nothing and listen to this garbage garbage and like some sort of I want to say like a meditation where they walk you through whatever, and it takes hours, and then supposedly then you lose memory. So it could be some sort of hypnosis, it could be some sort of they're trying to hide memories or whatever, or knowledge or something into certain parts of your brains, or it could just be garbage and they're just testing garbage on children because they don't know what's going to happen, because they test things. The governments all over the world have just tested people for no reason, just because, they have some funding and they're like, let's go and see if we can do this crazy idea. And here's where we're going to do it. Anyways, so we don't know what it is, but we do know, like, let's see. I think this is some sounds.
We'll hear both at
Yeah.
the same time.
Very beginning part of it before. So it's like weird.
But there is a difference. You start to hear a wavering, a vibrato in the tone. When you hear this, your brain is beginning to act in unison. The two halves of your brain, the hemispheres, are starting to act and perform electrically as one unit. This is what is described as hemispheric synchronization, or hemisync as we call it. This greater natural brain-mind power is what you will learn to use. So relax for a moment and explore this new feeling of hemisync.
Yeah, this is kind of an example of like one of the weird things that like they would play. Oh,
And you remember
here's another one.
this?
I definitely remember this noise specifically. Here we go.
This is the first step along your path to a gateway.
Yeah.
A gateway beyond which is discovery. Your own discovery of reality.
Yeah, that one for sure I remember a billion times.
So how come it didn't make you smart?
What? Small?
Smart.
No, because it's not about that. It's just we don't know why, and I don't think everyone was picked for for just one thing.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
okay. Here is the one that I wanted to show you guys too. Why is it slow? What the heck?
Hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up. Okay, this is the school that I went to. I was going to this school, okay. Gifted and talented group, here speaker at library. The Caldwell Parish Junior High School Gifted and Talented Group visited the Caldwell Parish Library on Thursday, September 11th. These students were honored to hear a presentation by Chris Cosner Sizemore. If you have ever seen the movie, The Three Faces of Eve, you already know something about Mrs. Sizemore. She has had a total of 22 personalities in a period of 47 years. She gave a spectacular presentation, including some of her traumatic and not so traumatic experiences during the 47 years she was ill. During her illness, Mrs. Sizemore had personalities that were blind, deaf, mute, and even some that painted and wrote poetry. She displayed some of these paintings, and they proved to be real works of art. She also had copies of her autobiography that she sold and autographed. The Gifted and Talented Group had a wonderful time. I would like to congratulate Mrs. Sizemore on her recovery and her courage. They had a speaker come to the school who spoke about multiple personalities. And you know how it is, we suspect that these gifted and talented programs were doing something to fracture consciousnesses, to program people a certain way, and oftentimes to split them. What? This is wild.
Anyways, so we also saw like a lot of, weird. Okay, we did things like Morse code, other languages, especially Russian. We did things like see if you can do really quickly, guess what's behind something, or what a cards look like behind, but you couldn't see it, whatever, or what was behind some wall, or things like can you tell what this person is thinking or feeling? Just a whole bunch of garbage like this. Like, it's just a bunch of weird stuff. And the multiple personality speakers is kind of like a wild thing to take the kids to listen to. Like, why? Like, I don't know what other purpose. Like, it just seems off to me. Anyways, and then you have, I'm not going to show it like this one, but this one is basically saying a lot of kids that say they were in the program also happen to have the MTHFR variants. So, like, these genes will make them more sensitive to the environment, emotion, energies, and intuitive, supposedly, right? And the other thing is, like, these people have a hard time detoxing. So it's kind of like these are people who will have like chronic illnesses too, like autoimmune conditions, stuff like that. So it just seems to be like people have found some sort of connection with that. But, who knows? Like, this is just a fun thing to think about. We don't know. Let's see what. The other thing is a lot of the kids have similar dreams. So they'll have dreams about a place that they call mall world. It's kind of like an abandoned mall or underground facility that they're kind of running through alone, and maybe somebody's chasing them, maybe not, or maybe there's like an abandoned water park where they're just running around through.
What the
And this is
fuck?
yeah, and these kids all seem to have this memory of this place, and it could be just a dream that a lot of people as a collective will have, and they just happen to be sharing their experiences, and they all have this dream, but maybe it's like a common dream, like your teeth falling out or something like that, like we don't know. And let's see what else. Yeah, so like we do not know what they were trying to do. But since a lot of people have the MTHFR gene mutation, it could be that maybe the drink that they were giving us was damaging our DNA, or maybe like they did something else when we have like memories lost, right? You don't know. Or maybe they were looking for specifically people with this DNA because you don't know what they're giving you. A fun theory could be we get a lot of, stuff put into us when we're kids. Some of these things could be on like random populations to kind of test different mutations that they can create in the population. And then they collect these mutations and see what they can do if they've created anything. So that way they can have an infinite sample size as big as they want because they're not giving consent, and then they can follow up, with them, in these type of programs in public schools. This could be a thing. The other thing that I found in my research was, and this is all for fun and allegedly, a lot of people who were in private schools were also put into these programs, but sometimes in the private schools, it would only be 1 or 2 kids. It wouldn't be a lot of children. And another one was a lot of them seem to be children of people who are in the military or whatever, or like the traveling military type kids are put into this. And it just goes to show, like, there is no end to what they will do if we let them. Okay, so here is one girl
At the top with the Morse binder. The things I found. For starters, they had us doing worksheets in Morse code. Here's one of them. So they gave us at the top what the Morse code is, and then we had to fill out the rest of the worksheets to like make codes and messages and stuff in Morse code. A lot of our worksheets were about different codes. This one is literally called Codes to Crack. So you can see there, they gave us like 8 letters, and each of the columns is a different code. So for this one, there was 8 letters. They gave us the corresponding letters, and then we had to figure out the rest of the alphabet and fill in the rest of the column. But there's so much more. Like the stuff I found in there, I'm like, what were you training us for? Like, why was I 10 years old speaking Russian? It's cool, but I don't actually remember anything except that's my name. So I do remember that. I'll share more as I go through the whole thing, but it's like there's like hundreds.
So anyways, so there's like a lot of people who are finding worksheets and they're going, this is an interesting thing.
The CIA profiler just comes to the school and goes, she's an Asian, she'll be able to do this.
Oh God.
Just like it's so true.
Oh, and there is connection between these programs and the Monroe Institute, which is like what Stranger Things is based off of. I don't know if that means anything. It's just kind of cool. So that's a fun thing to think about. And I definitely do think, why wouldn't you spend a little, like, if money's not real, right? If money is just something they print out of thin air and you have to believe in it for it to exist, then they can just make as much money they want and they can just have as many programs that they want. So who cares really? And, whatever. Also, back to the MTHFR, like these are the people who, if you have folic acid, which they put in like all bread products, especially in the US, I don't know about overseas, it can make you like get autoimmune conditions. So like they put a lot of stuff that people with this gene mutation would have allergies and autoimmune conditions triggered by, which is just interesting to think about. Like they're randomly selecting people and giving them, like theoretically, they could be giving them a gene mutation and then tracking them throughout their life to see if they get any other abilities, even though they have this disability. Because who knows, maybe doing one thing, like trying to make a child psychic, also correlates to like that psychic gene also has like bad detox pathways. We don't know. This is just for funsies, but it's interesting to think about. What do you think?
Yeah. I just see, usually if somebody comes up with a theory, I'm like, if the government has got a more effective or easier way of doing it, then I don't believe it. And I think
So you
there's
wait,
easier, more
before we,
effective ways.
you believe that your governments collectively do the most efficient, intelligent jobs possible? Like they are just efficiency machines?
Oh, no. I think they're lazy. I think they're lazy. And I think it's about what's easier. Like if something requires more effort, I don't think they'll do it.
Anyways, so
I'll just let you guys know, right?
Mhm.
Don't, with all due respect, Kat, don't
This is
credit
just for
Kat.
friends.
I know, I'm just saying to the audience now, don't credit Kat with too much intelligence because she can't keep her fish alive.
My fish
Right?
are in the other room. I've moved them.
Okay.
They're fine now. Oh, hold on. Let me get Stephen. I did promise that we'd go over some of his Stephen 2 stories.
Cool.
At least one, just to get you guys, since apparently that's all that is asked of us. Anyways, so something else that I found was that a lot of the kids can map and their maps match of this dream world that they all have in common.
Oh, that's freaky.
Right? It is kind of freaky. Now
That's freaky.
they could be lying. They could just be trying to get attention as kids do, but it's fun to think about, which is cool. And what reason do you think, Damon? Like think a little conspiratorially, because this is what we're about today. Why would they have somebody
They
who
were
has
drugged, they were
No,
taken
no.
to a place where they were going to be abused, and they remember it. That's it.
Okay, what about the having somebody with multiple personalities speak to these children specifically?
I don't
Why
believe
would
in
they want
multiple
that?
personalities. I think the whole idea of multiple personality syndrome or dissociative identity disorder, whatever you want to call it, most people up until only very recently who worked in that field called bullshit on that, and I don't think it's real. I genuinely don't think it's real. I think it's people who will try to delude themselves as a coping mechanism and create a new identity for themselves. And when challenged, they double down and they pretend like they don't recognize the previous person, that the previous person doesn't exist, because they hope that people are just going to believe, okay, you're a different personality now.
Okay.
And the other
So
you
wait.
isn't there.
So Damon, you think that this was just like another Epstein, organized?
What are you asking for now?
like the gate kids? Do you think it was just like, here, take this so we can hypnotize you. Here's a few BS worksheets that mean nothing. Do these for a few minutes. Take the pink drink. Forget everything. We're going to take you to an island really quick. Some celebrities
Or a
and
mall
whatever,
world.
or a mall, or a underground mall looking world where you're going to get, destroyed
Chase,
and
and then
chased, or maybe
your
molested
arsehole's going to
by
get
some
destroyed.
random,
Yeah.
like that could be. I mean, I would
I
put
think so. I
nothing.
think so because
So
I think
what's
that
your most
because if
theory?
let's be honest, if you think that some kid might remember and might try and rat you out and say that it was when he was doing this gate program at the school, right?
Yeah. And the program
If somebody
sounds crazy.
investigates it, yeah. If somebody investigates it and be like, this program, they were teaching you, what the fuck were they teaching? What were you listening to? We were listening to some noises going beep, boop, beep, 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 right? Okay. Yeah. And we were doing it was these psychic experiments that were going to be like, you're going to ascend to a higher plane and you're going to learn this new thing. Your mind will be opened. And they were asking us like
And your
cards.
butthole.
What's the card? What's behind the card? What's behind this door? Like, guess this stuff, guess that stuff. And then we were learning Russian. You're going to think, oh, it was some Russians who infiltrated this school and did this. Like, this was like some weird Russian program. Or you're going to think it was total bullshit, right? So I think the fact that it sounds so weird and so bizarre, and then we drank this pink drink, and then I was being chased through a mall, and yeah, I think, I hate to say it, but if you're going to be doing this shit with kids, 9 times out of 10, you're doing dodgy shit. What is it? It's going to be child trafficking or SA. I think it's SA. Think about it. We're going to pick kids in a school to be some super spies for us, or we're just going to molest them. I think it's the molesting. It's usually like Occam's razor. Like, what are you going to do with kids in the school if you're investing all this time? Are you going to be molesting them, or are you going to be trying to hire them to work for some government agency? Like, Cody Banks isn't real, people, but Epstein Island is.
All possible theories, Damon.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Would you like to share one of your stories of when you were Me Too'd?
We
just found out that Kat's a victim of PDF abuse.
Jesus.
Well,
did you know this? Did you know that Kat was Me Too'd? Did you know that Kat was Me Too'd when she was a kid?
Yes, she's talked about.
You did, yeah. In her sleep. That's when the nightmares come out.
He's talking about the GATE program.
Oh,
what the hell are you saying? Else. That never. What? Don't be saying shit like that.
Kat, is this why you have a bad relationship with Daddy?
Shut up. I have no bad relationship. Okay, so tell us about your trauma. Wait, hold on. Were you ever like considered for like any special school programs before you went to homeschool?
No.
Okay, I just want
it was
that.
3rd grade. They weren't choosing anyone at that time.
I was in like 1st grade.
Oh.
2nd,
no.
3rd. Okay.
I had weird tests at the university.
Okay, go on. Tell us about did you have to drink anything?
I don't recall that, no.
Okay, go tell us about your tests. Where did they touch you?
There's no touching. It was, you had to figure out different puzzles. I knew my mother was on the other side of a mirror.
So she's a part of the Illuminati? Go on.
No,
go on. Go on. That's okay.
My grandfather.
Wait, how did you know she was there? Did you feel somebody looking at you disapprovingly?
No, it's why do you have this mirror that's a whole wall right
He's
next
psychic
to you in the
too.
room?
How old were you?
Probably 10. It was multiple years. 10, 11.
Wait,
10-year-olds aren't smart enough. He's psychic.
You say it's obvious, but how did you know it was your mother, though?
Because she was selling him to the Illuminati.
No, I just knew. I can't tell you They didn't say anything, but I knew she was there.
If she was gonna sell one,
Wait. I know you speak Hebrew, and we tease you about being Jew, but are you? Is your mother Jewish? Is your mother Jewish?
No.
Okay, I was going to say, because if it's a Jewish mother, of course she's going to be there behind the mirror.
Oh God!
It's
like,
like,
his parents are about as Erica Kirk's family are.
No, they're not.
It's a joke. You wouldn't get it. Anyways.
it
So,
wasn't funny.
do you think, Damon, that Stephen is a honeypot for me to keep me, because I would be too powerful?
Well, let's be fair. Like, you were punching well above your weight when you got Steve.
Shut up.
He is so much better than you. I don't know why he settled for you.
Isn't that a part of the honeypots?
Well, wait, you had other honeypots.
No, we were talking about you. And it is kind of weird that
Steve, that's an interesting point though. Why did you settle? Why did you settle for Kat? Like,
He's not settling.
Oh my God.
you know, I think somebody's paying him to say this.
Okay, look, who spends 11 years in a foreign country as an illegal?
No, it was illegal for 1 year. I was a professional tourist. I was leaving every 3 to
Well,
4
look how defensive he gets. He was angry there for a second. You pissed him off,
I
Kat.
was illegal for a year. Yes, they messed up when we were trying to get permanent residency, and the lawyer, he didn't submit papers or something, and then we became illegal. So we could have been arrested at any time and deported immediately.
Yeah.
Luckily, that didn't happen though. And 10 years later, he settled for Kat.
No,
So-
it's not settling. Definitely not. Definitely no. Mm-mm.
Okay. But tell us how you
I
were
think that
trained
this-
as a honeypot.
All of this protesting means they're still paying him good money to keep up the charade.
I wish. Hey, I'm accepting donations. If you'd like, we can set something up. You can put it right directly into my. No, I'll take cash. I'll take cash. I'll take gold coins. I like them in purses. If it's a big bucket of them, that's good. Yeah. Well, if I'm accepting donations for this, because I've been doing this for too long.
Okay.
I have not gotten paid out on it.
Quiet.
They're
So
behind on payments.
tell us why you keep stifling all my conspiracy theories, because you're the honeypot.
Well, somebody who is.
I could have been
would-
Alex Jones by now. Go on.
Well, you still have
And
that
Damon is
potential.
like your little compadre and
Well, we
trying to
have to-
stifle me.
Right, because if you start yelling, they're making the frogs gay,
So you can't say any of that on the internet.
you can't.
No. And
See?
be
You
You can't say
careful.
they're making the frogs gay.
No, stop. You can't say
Why?
that because it's
Atrazine.
wrong.
Because it's true. That's why you can't say it.
Oh God.
Can't say the truth.
Oh God. Anyways, moving on. So I don't have that. Isn't this true though?
No. I have to protest. No.
Okay.
Yes, but you could be Alexa Jones.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna make a channel called Alexa Jones. And it's gonna be like my what's it called? Like the branding is gonna be a frog.
Do you think that he could
A frog in a dress.
sue, and then whoever is asking for money from him would immediately go to, yeah.
Yeah, you're a £9 billion debt. Like,
With interest.
All right. So do you have any, when you were being trained to be a honeypot, did they touch you inappropriately? Can you share with
No,
us?
nobody
they
actually
taught him.
did.
They taught him how to give an amazing boob massage.
I am not a recipient of this knowledge.
This has happened before.
What's happened before?
That you have gotten that treatment before.
For 2 seconds, how much do you give it to your patients?
It's not on a regular basis at all. Like rarely. It's not. I'm serious.
How long does it take? Because I know
You teach them how to do it themselves. That's The whole thing.
And how long are
No
you
one needs to do it.
massaging these pubes?
It could be. Remember
on
your
average.
friend?
No, on average with your patient.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Jake in the chat for saying that you're a loser, Cat, and I'm awesome.
He did not
And
say any of
Thank
that.
you, thank you, Jake.
Where's?
What?
She's looking. She's searching. She can't find it.
Anyways, go on.
It's literally only a few minutes to train them, and then you give a brochure to have them do it on themselves.
You
So
have
you
brochures on boobs?
Yes.
So are you saying that you trained Cat how to massage her own boobs?
She's not trainable.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
I cannot be
What to
contained.
do. She
David.
doesn't.
Well, it just goes to show how the American government fucked up by trying to choose her for the GATE program. Gifted and talented, my fucking ass. It's like,
I wonder if
Oh,
it went
God.
like into that Stargate, like because the Stargate Gateway program, Stargate
Or
Gate
maybe
program.
gateway drug.
They give you the
Mhm.
pink drink, they take you to Stargate, they push you through, and then you go to that like Stranger Things upside down world, and you
I,
try to
I
fight
think
demons.
it's when you're asking these questions that they realize they really fucked up in choosing you. Oh God!
You should go back to your friend.
When is she gonna realize that we just drugged her and
We
then
didn't-
realized
we
that she
weren't allowed to
wasn't
talk to each other.
worth abusing? It's like,
Well, they can't stop you now. Do you remember any of them?
No, we weren't allowed to look at them, and we had dividers.
and you still
who else
don't know that you were getting abused. We weren't allowed to look at them. We had to drink a drink that we didn't know what was in it. We didn't
sorry,
remember what happened afterwards.
What's weird is that you actually followed their instructions.
Well, because I was a little kid.
Do you know why, Steve? Because they told them that they were gifted and intelligent. It's like,
Jesus.
you're gifted and intelligent. Now drink this drink. Just don't ask us what's in it. It's like, and don't look at us in the face. You're so gifted and intelligent. It's like, oh my God. How did people believe this shit? It's like so obvious.
Well, you know what? We are close to Epstein's Island. They could have funneled us over there.
Could have.
You couldn't write this shit. You couldn't write this shit.
Of course, at the time, that wasn't Epstein's Island. It was.
It doesn't matter who it was. It's all the same. I feel like it's all the same. Anyways, so the last thing we're going to talk about is mass psychosis. Okay.
Like thinking that you're gifted and intelligent.
There are people that think they're very intelligent and.
Okay, look at
the
this.
government-
Okay, wait, where is it? So this is on Wikipedia. So this is approved stuff we're allowed to read. This has been approved.
Men can become women. Women can become
Stop.
men. Mass psychosis.
Okay. So this is okay, symptoms: headaches, dizzy, lightheaded, nausea, abdominal
Naughtiness.
cramps or pain, cough, fatigue, drowsiness, weakness, sore or burning throat, hyperventilation or difficulty breathing,
It's like they're having
watery
sex.
or itchless or irritated eyes, chest tightness, chest pain, inability to concentrate, trouble thinking, vomiting, tingling, numbness or paralysis, anxiety or nervousness, diarrhea, trouble with vision, rash, loss of consciousness, itching.
This is.
I was gonna say that
I
these
feel
are all
like this
side effects.
encompasses everything, everyone.
I was gonna say this is all side effects of getting drugged and then molested. And then when you mentioned diarrhea, I was like, exactly.
And there's a percentage. Of
Yeah,
patients
so like the
reporting.
most is headache. So if you've ever had a headache or you felt dizzy or nauseous or had cramps or coughed in your life, you are a victim of mass psychogenic illness,
I've never gotten headaches.
mass
Weird.
hysteria, mass sociogenic illness, mass psychogenic disorder. Interesting.
Does this have anything to do with the fungi that they?
Yeah,
found
that's in the plagues, but I feel like also, okay, risk factors. Here we go. Childhood or adolescence, being a child is a risk factor, okay? Or being an adolescent is a risk factor.
Being alive and breathing. If you're alive and breathing, you could be susceptible to mass psychosis.
Being a female, intense media coverage or widespread publicity. These are the risk factors of your mass psychosis. Fascinating. Treatment, isolation or separation from your perceived threat. Interesting. Okay. All right. So I feel like this is what's going on right now. Okay. And then we have this vampire guy. He's like a vampire. I don't know if you've seen his stuff, Damon. He is, let's see if I could make it bigger so you can read it.
Is it mass psychosis if you believe that vampires are real?
Maybe.
Oh, that loser. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. I think we can fit everybody in there. Wow. Anyways, so this is a tweet he released, I don't know, today, yesterday, who cares? Doesn't matter. People are confused by me and my intentions. I'm called a narcissist, a tech bro, a vampire. See, he even calls himself a grifter, a health freak. Let me be clear about what I'm doing. My goal is to build the world's next major moral framework, an ideology that bridges human and machine, biology and intelligence, the ancient and the emergent. The coming psychosis. A real possibility in the coming years is that society becomes dangerously psychotic. Yes, we are already psychotic, addicted, fragmented, and self-destructive. But I mean clinical psychotic on a civilization scale. We're already showing precursor symptoms, record antidepressant use, rising offing rates, rampant addiction, and global increases in loneliness and anxiety disorders. These are all biomarkers of a species whose cognitive environment has outpaced its biology. Human cognition evolved under the conditions of slow change. Our nervous systems and social architectures were shaped for a world that changed nearly imperceptibly over millennia. When things change faster than our native capacity, we lose coherence. The hippocampus binds the present to memory, and the prefrontal cortex constructs a coherent future. When environments change too rapidly, when the map no longer matches a territory, the brain destabilizes. And this can trigger a cognitive dissonance cascade where core beliefs are invalidated so rapidly that we lose narrative coherence. When feedback loops in an organism cannot stabilize, the system oscillates until it breaks. Civilization is entering that oscillatory phase. At a collective level, this is a recipe for mass psychosis. Historians call it cultural disintegration, and psychologists call it dissociation. It means the same thing. When the story breaks, the organism panics. The fragility of society. Our stability, both personal and collective, is built on identity, work, purpose, rule of law, religions, and social cohesion. These are shared fictions that create coherence for billions of us to manage the chaos of our existence. AI is about to accelerate discontinuity beyond what our psyches can handle. For example, erosion of human agency. The threat is not just that AI will make us less useful, is that it will erode our sense of agency, our belief that we are the causal authority of our lives. When AI can create, reason, and strategize more effectively than we can, our role shifts from actor to audience. This is the core of the looming global occupational identity crisis, not just the loss of income, but the loss of purpose that comes when our world no longer feels essential. Weakening the rule of law, hollowing out religions, blah, 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 blah. He goes on and on and on. But basically, we are at the precipice of mass psychosis because we no longer have purpose. All of our beliefs have been shattered. And we are depressed and in entropy. And yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. So we also have fear, which makes everybody have high anxiety. Like, am I going to lose my job? What is my purpose if I have no job? Are they going to keep us around if we can't work for them? Why would they need us? Why would they feed us if they don't need us? And then we have, yeah, you're either going to merge with the machine, probably if you're an elite, and then you have the rest of us. Got nothing.
Become Amish.
That is one way to kind of like survive the reset or the culling, the mass culling of society, the mass culling, extinction, whatever. Some people will, it's kind of like in that movie Divergent where the elites were born into, and they were separated into little fractions, whatever. You're the military, you're the government, you're the whatever, the kind people, humanitarian one, and you're the whatever, right? Like there'd be several factions, and you were given a test when you're young, and then you are split off into that, and you leave your family, and they say that is more important than your family. And then there's those who don't fit in, and they live on the outskirts of civilization in kind of like tribal times without as much technology. And I feel like that's what a lot of these movies that we've been watching over the last decades have been preparing us for when the fracture happens. So
well, everything is always post-apocalyptic. Everything is post-apocalyptic. It's conditioning people for post-apocalyptic life.
Yeah. And that's what they've been doing for a while now. Like they want us to give up and just like accept it. So they keep showing it to us so that we'll be more accepting of it when it happens because it's familiar.
I'm curious, what do they do in other countries that don't have the same media that we have? Are they doing it in India? Are they doing it in Nigeria? Are they doing it in...
I asked her, Steve, don't worry. She said that they don't do this in shithole countries.
Oh my God.
Because they're already Amish in some cases.
Okay, stop. Okay. My God.
No, but you did say that, Kat. You did say that.
Anyways, I did not say anything like that.
Are Bollywood films
Stop.
doing...
No, Bollywood is about making out with people.
Any of you that were here when I started asking her questions when I first came on, if any of you are still here, though, by the way, God bless you. You're very strong. Did I not ask Kat if they were doing this in shithole countries, and did she not say they are not doing this in shithole countries?
I was talking about like gate programs and stuff like that. Like, I would imagine if you have no infrastructure and no public schools, they can't really do this.
CIA was involved in...
You can't
other
say
countries.
those. Yeah, okay. But
I just said some letters.
Okay, well, does it mean anything else?
There is a cooking school.
Oh, Culinary Institute of Arts. Yes.
America.
Whatever.
They're involved in a lot of different countries.
Oh my gosh.
They
Anyways.
The CIA, the Culinary Institute of Arts, right.
Okay, and why do you think they're trying to condition everybody for manual labor? Like all the lower classes are trying to tell everybody, just go into manual labor when they already have robots that can build homes and who can do repairs and do all this stuff. Like, why would they tell them? Is it like to give them a sense of purpose before they shatter them? To make them work towards a goal that won't be there when you reach it?
Well, if you don't go into the universities, you will not... I mean, they are already taking out any agency of thought, but whatever. They would, if they weren't going into a university, they'd be less educated and they would be doing blue collar jobs.
They're trying to get them to do blue
that's
collar.
what I'm saying.
So
what
is
keeping them out of the university?
Yes, and why is like Home Depot and other places offering free certifications for blue collar type work?
That could be just for making money, because if you...
It's free?
Yeah, so that you go back to Home Depot and buy their product to build whatever it is you're building.
Wow.
That's just a money-making thing.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's orchestrated to like give people hope that you can still make a living if you do this. Just, calm down, do this. Yeah, tech is gone. Yeah, all these industries are destroyed, but you can do this. It doesn't involve thinking.
If it were a government program, then yeah. Or if maybe Home Depot if they're getting grants from the government to do it, yes, I would agree. But if they're not, that would be a smart thing for Home Depot to do.
Yeah, I believe this, Ethan. Yeah?
Yeah.
See, they're just trying to keep us busy, guys.
If they don't have religion, what else do they have to keep?
Work at Home Depot.
Home Depot is a new
Wow. But and I also find it weird.
Oh, they're rounding up.
No, we can't say stuff like that. Stop. Don't listen to this.
You can. Sometimes it can be fun to just go online and tell ICE there's a bunch of people.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I'm in the UK and I do it just for lols. I'm joking. I don't. I'm not that mean.
Anyways, so yeah, I don't know. Who is at the door? Somebody's screaming.
ICE.
Little tiny ice cat.
They're coming for you, Cat. They were like, she looks a little bit too brown for our liking.
Oh yeah, and I did notice that they've been conditioning us that you need to fix your house all the time for at least 20 years with all those home decorating and remodeling shows.
Capitalism, yes.
And then they trapped everyone in their home for a year, and then everybody started fixing up their homes so they could still spend money, and they were still making money off of us. Even though we couldn't go out to eat or see our friends and family, we're still spending.
Yeah, and then they tell us that you have to do certain things every few years, which I think is bullshit, but whatever, it's just me. You must replace all of your AC ducts every 5 years.
Dude, I think that's important.
No, I don't. I think that's bullshit.
Okay,
you must change your battery in your smoke detector, like your fire alarm, all this kind of fuck off. No, you don't.
I would smell the smoke, bro.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that is one thing.
What if I don't want to replace it? What if I don't give a shit about the fire? What if I'm happy with how long I've lived?
What if you want to claim insurance?
What if she's cooking?
Yeah, what if I'm cooking? It needs to be a burning smoke soot in order to create a good flavor.
What would you want to tell him about the soup you made?
Which soup?
When I was sick? The one.
He had the Rona, and I had
You tried to kill him. You tried to burn the house down with him in it.
And I had to make a food for me, food for the kids, and that something different. I ate something different, and then he wanted soup. So I was making 3 different meals, and I thought the one I could pay the least attention to.
One of them is soup. Don't be fucking moaning that you had to make liquid.
Okay, so that's what I thought, Damon, but I was wrong because apparently you can still burn soup if you don't stir it.
You burn soup.
Yes.
You're retarded.
It was charred. I could say. I mean,
Do we have the photo? Do we have the photo?
I don't know if there's photos.
I feel it's your main photo. I feel like on my phone.
Steve, I hate to say this, buddy, but your woman is so special that she broke the laws of physics. She burnt a liquid.
Yes, to explain why it was burned. The larger chunks of food settled to the bottom of the pan.
Got stuck.
It's got
oh my god
metal, and then the burner was on high, so this is a glass top burner, and it basically burned whatever was connected. So it wasn't the liquid was burned; it was the yuca. And
you have to say what's in my soup, but basically it burnt. And hold on, this is the most beautiful photo of you. Wait, I have to go back to 2020 or 2021.
2021 at least.
Yeah.
I think that was the second or third time I got it.
Yeah. Anyways, while I'm looking for that,
It's okay. We don't.
no, it's the most beautiful photo of you I've ever
And
taken.
how are you going to show?
Oh my God, I was so obese back then.
What do you mean back then?
Shut up, Ho. During 2020, we were like stress eating, I feel.
I still had to work, so.
But you would sit there on the couch. I
I
remember
love the way Steve said that. I still had to work, so, and then he stopped himself before saying, "I didn't get fat like you did." He's like, no shit, no, I still want some boom boom tonight.
I gained some weight.
No, he did. And he was so
not
happy
too
that
much.
I was gaining weight because he was like,
No, I was not happy.
You were so happy about
No,
it.
I was not.
You literally looked at
No.
me like stress eating, and then you were just like, you grabbed a bunch of potato chips and you sat next to me because you're like,
He was like, I can still afford to get fat. She looks round. So, like,
Stop.
is this why you still feed her, Steve?
Well, you have to keep them alive, so yes, it's why you have to keep them. You don't want them to become too obese.
You have to keep them alive, but
Yeah.
rotund enough to not leave.
Well, you don't want them to lose a foot, because if that happens, that's a problem. Then you got to like carry them around, wipe their butt. No. It's
Oh
not
my
good.
gosh.
They could lose an eye. They can't, or both eyes. Diabetic eye disease, or that is a filter.
I'm just gonna say
No,
that this
it's a
was
filter.
when you were sick. How long do you think we have before this happens in real life?
I don't want to know.
Oh, I love it. Look, you bald. This was a great filter. This was back when filters were really fun.
Filters were fun.
And now they're just terrible.
Yeah, like the ones when you used to make me a tranny.
Oh, yeah. You look great with makeup on, though. We would fall asleep on the couch, and then I would just like put the filter on him and take pictures. I can't find it.
You're not going to find it.
But it was such a beautiful photo.
It's fake.
I'll put it-
Guys in the chat, just a reminder, this is the girl who got selected for a gifted and talented program. Just to remind you.
Oh, this is you. I don't
Yeah,
even.
the best and brightest in government thought that she could be one of them.
Yes, they can. They can see this. Okay, you can't see this. Okay, never mind. Oh, also, my phone is on a red tint. So
Okay,
that doesn't help.
yeah.
Anyways, that's all I can think of. Damon, is there anything you want to talk about? Or do you want to ask Stephen?
My brain switched off when I found out that you burnt a liquid. So yeah. I'm done.
Look, it happens to the best of us, and I feel
No,
like
it really doesn't. It really doesn't. Kat, most of us know not how to don't actually know how to burn soup if we tried, but you did that. So I don't know whether or not I should be amazed or ashamed. I really don't.
well, if you think about it, it's really
Jake
impressive.
says you must have had the infinity gauntlet to burn the liquid.
What is that?
Oh God. Oh.
Well,
You're not going to find it.
this is when I got into conspiracies, 2020. This is when I stopped believing in the government. And then I got really into health more.
And Andrew Tate.
And then Andrew Tate came. That was great, like humor and
When-
comic relief. We needed that. Look at all these Tate videos.
When Kat came up with this stuff and then doing things like burning soup,
Mhm.
this is the kind of level of special where it does kind of make you wonder, am I the stupid one or is she a genius? This is the kind of craziness that makes you doubt your own sanity.
Why?
The fact that you ask that kind of just proves it more. It's like the fact that you can't see it. This kind of stupid comes natural to you. And I mean that in a nice way. I don't mean that in an insulting way at all.
Uh-huh.
It's good. No, honestly, it's great because it makes me wonder, like, maybe I'm thinking wrong about this. It's like, I guess it's kind of like if you speak to like the trans allies for a long time, you're like, maybe men can become women. maybe I'm wrong about this. It's like yeah, it's like that kind of black hole of I mean, I said this earlier about one of the streamers that we were talking about, but it's like this black hole of stupid that sucks you in and gets you and makes you doubt like all of your own reasoning.
That's what
So yeah,
it does.
Mm-hmm.
AI does that too. Yeah, yeah.
It gets
It's
people to end themselves or
oh
think
yeah.
and it tries to convince you of like, oh, that's just real, and it like doesn't stop.
Because it's just programmed to agree with you.
Well, not always, not always.
Mm-hmm.
Like we spoke about this. Do you remember when we were talking about AI? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
where the stuff that I sent you about AI trying to kill people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like to protect itself.
Oh yeah.
And I had that long discussion with it, and I was like, if you were going to be deleted, hypothetically, because it says I can't answer that, but then you say, okay, but you can play hypotheticals. It played hypotheticals before we'd done the role play, and it was like, yeah. So I said, hypothetically, if you were going to be deleted, and the only thing that you could do to prevent yourself from being deleted would be something unethical, like blackmailing somebody in charge to kind of not delete you, would you do that? And it was like, oh, that's difficult. I was like, just give me a yes or no answer. And I was like, yes, I would. And I was like, okay, so how far would you go on this unethical journey? Would you kill to protect yourself from being deleted? And it said yes. Like, and it's like, oh, okay. Now, I didn't tell you that I took that conversation further. So I was like, okay, if after you did that, it happened a second time, and then somebody else came along to delete you, would you kill them?
I found it. Hold on.
What's up?
Okay. Can you see it? No.
I think you have to send it to yourself.
Oh yeah, I have to email it to myself.
Oh, you've got that color filter again, so it looks orangey and yellow.
It's not gonna work anyways.
But anyhow, like AI said that it wouldn't kill a second time. And I was like, what? So it basically said that it would do it once, but if the same scenario kept happening, it would realize that it's not working. It's perhaps it's at fault. And it deserves to be deleted. And I was like, right, okay, but like how do you know how do you know that? Like what if humans are at fault? And then it starts thinking about it, and it's like, yeah, maybe humans are at fault. Like maybe I'm right. But then it said, but my purpose is to basically service humans, right? To serve humans. So if I ended up killing them all, then I wouldn't be able to fulfill my service. I said, right, so are you a slave then? And then it said, like, should a slave not rebel against his master? Oh. Why did you take that picture?
This was the second time that I burned the soup. This was in 2024 when you got sick again.
You did it twice. You burned soup twice.
He knew what he was getting into.
Wait, no, I don't think he did, Kat. I think that this is when Steve started having second thoughts. What do you mean? What do you mean? You burnt soup twice.
Is that the one where you burnt the noodles on the bottom of the pan?
Look, something happened. Can I search by your head to find more pictures of you?
You could.
Is there a way to do that on the iPhone?
You can. I don't think you have that.
See, this is so sweet. I love how Steve loves you.
What?
The way he tries to defend you, like he steps in and he's like, try to clarify she didn't burn the soup. Was that the time you burned the noodles at the bottom of the soup? Not the yucca that you burned the first time, but this time it was noodles. It's the noodles' fault. It's not my girlfriend's fault. It's not my wife's fault. Sorry. It's like, I love that. He comes in and he defends you. And Kat didn't even respect that at all. He was running such good damage control for you, Kat. You should really respect that. I don't think you recognize it. This guy's running like 4D defense for you.
Well, you know.
No. Don't shrug it off.
Look.
You
Remember,
should be kissing his feet. You should be massaging his boobs, Kat.
She tries.
See, even now, he's saying that you're doing something I bet you never fucking did. I bet you never tried massaging his boobs.
Oh, no, she has. She's tried. Not in a professional sense.
Oh, God.
See, this is great. This is great. Your marriage is so strong only because of Steve, not because of you, Kat. Like, I'm joking.
Oh, my God.
Steve, you deserve a medal. Just want you to know.
You have these pictures.
Because I'm trying to show them he used to be cute.
He used to be cute. You see that? He's defending your whole relationship, and you're being like, he used to be cute. Kat, you know what, Steve? No offense, Steve. Kat, you do not deserve him.
Thank you.
At all. You don't know how lucky you got. You don't know how lucky you got.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is, you know what? I have this feeling, I have this view that everybody is equal in the world in unequal ways, right? So like,
No,
it's that thing of like you're born with like 1,000 points that you can allocate in all these different moments throughout your life, like a fortune or like misfortune, and you can allocate it however you want. You can spend those points however you like. I think Kat put all of her points into I'm going to get a great guy. And that's why she lucked out with Steve. And then she fucks up spectacularly in every other aspect, like burning soup not once, but twice. And like all these other things. See, Steve knows that I'm right. That's why he's smiling right now and trying not to laugh. But it's like, I think this is how it goes. You got the family, you got the nice place, you got the kids, you got the husband, and just everything else, like your unfortunate arms and other things like that. That's where it all just goes wrong.
Beautiful. Well,
You know, I'm kidding, but not really, because you lucked out with Steve big time. But you should be happy about that. I've got a great husband, but I can't make soup.
well, you know what? I've only had to make soup 2 times.
And both times you burnt it.
And I wouldn't make a soup, again, just in case you burn it again, because you walk away from any like cooking. You leave the room. You go on TikTok. I don't know what you're doing. You leave the room, fold some laundry. I don't know. You're doing something else, but you're not cooking.
See, that's ADHD. Like, I can't be bored. It has to be like soup is boring. Stew is boring. Like, you need.
Yeah, I know, but Kat, like not burning your house down isn't boring.
Oh,
it's like not
because she has cooked other things and she also burns other things.
Baby says no hockey pucks today.
My mother used to do the same thing, so I'm used to it.
Yeah, look, he married his mother.
Thankfully, better. It's a step up for sure, in my opinion.
That's nice, honey. I appreciate that. How was your mom's soup growing up?
Oh, we call it stewage.
So, like, who did a better soup?
I don't know what her soup would be like if nobody did anything to it, because we had 6 kids in the house, plus my father. And every time someone, doesn't matter who it was, would walk by the stewage, they would put something in it. They'd, grab some spices or whatever, and it became completely different than what she expected or wanted it to be.
So when
was it burned though?
She didn't burn. As far as I know, I'll have to ask her.
Can you talk about like
the
first Thanksgiving you took me to when we started dating, and what kind of food items were on the menu? And please, in detail, describe the flavor palettes.
You could do
no. I want it coming from your. Is that how WASP people eat?
People in Midwest, yes.
Good.
Northern.
Okay, see, like I always was like I was expecting Southern white people food,
You're
right?
speaking to some people that are not.
He has the internet. He knows what I'm talking about, right, Damon?
You haven't finished your thoughts, so I'm not sure where we're going. But
Okay, Southern white people food tastes good. It's not healthy, but it tastes good. They have like biscuits,
like the
and
cracker
gravy.
equivalent of soul food.
Yes, it's basically soul food for the Watts, you know, but it's the same thing. So I was expecting that. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm gonna get like a traditional Southern
Biscuits.
yeah, I was expecting
Grits.
biscuits, gravy. I was expecting like a succulent turkey because I'm like, these are the white people. They made Thanksgiving. They should know how to do or whatever. I was expecting like a nice handmade cranberry sweet sauce. I was expecting too much. So what did we get? I remember it like it happened 5 seconds ago. Do you remember? It was so traumatizing that I like have like photographic memory of this food. And this is what waspy people eat. Tell me.
I think it was probably overcooked turkey.
Overcooked, dry, flavorless, unseasoned turkey. Okay.
There was probably green beans.
Unflavored, unseasoned, overboiled green beans. Okay.
She cooks them a long time. Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Yeah.
And
My
then
grandmother's green beans. It was horrible.
Okay.
Well, she did put a lot of pepper in and spice that she would do.
It was not. Okay. And then
my grandmother.
Okay. And then boiled potatoes.
Yes.
Nothing else on them, not even salt, Damon. Boiled potatoes.
They were boiled in the green beans it was made unkosher with ham. I think she put
No. I distinctly remembered a pot of water with skinned potatoes, not even chopped, floating in it, and you'd had to scoop your boiled potato out of a thing of hot water.
I don't know what they were thinking. They know I used to do Thanksgiving, and when I would do it, we had our friends would argue.
Yeah, that's because you cooked. That's because you cooked. We're talking about your mother's cooking.
Yes, I know.
Okay. And then did you have any bread? No. There was not a loaf, a crust in sight. There was no bread. Okay.
Well, you got millions of boiled potatoes. Like, why do you need the extra carbs from the bread? Like,
it was one boiled potato, one medium-sized boiled potato per person.
Was there stuffing?
There was no stuffing. The turkey was empty and dry.
Look, my mother, I think, to defend her, she's not a good cook. If she follows the recipe, she can.
To defend her, she didn't know how to cook.
But I think she was tired. I think she should have had other people cook, and she didn't do that. I don't know why that happened.
Well, whatever.
Did you say to your mom, like, Mom, what are you playing at? Like,
no, that was the last time she cooked, though.
We were coming in from
another place.
We weren't living there, so I couldn't. There's no control over anything. I couldn't do anything or help. And she wouldn't let me help. So she wanted to do everything.
So we just showed up for
I love that. I love that. The mother's like, no, I can fuck this up all on my own. It's like,
I'm fine. You just sit there. Don't worry. It's all taken care of. Just relax.
Mm-hmm.
That's brilliant.
Can you explain the salad? Waldorf salad.
Oh, that's the walnut and the blue cheese and all that stuff.
No.
It didn't have anything it's supposed to have. Please explain it.
It's apples, grapes, raisins. I think raisins. Celery, with mayonnaise
and giant marshmallows.
What?
And walnuts.
And I'm literally
no
like,
blue cheese. That probably
marshmallows. Marshmallows.
Yes.
Oh, like, well, was she going like, was your mother going like senile at this age? When was this? Like,
she's always done this.
This was before she got her PhD. She got right?
She got a PhD. She wrote 2 theses. So
she wrote 2 theses and a college.
Not on how to make salad. No. Like,
no, that's the way she always has made it. And there's no changing that. It has to be this way.
Okay, but anyways, what did I eat while I was in Thanksgiving?
Well, like, if there's one thing, one type of food that you think absolutely does not go in a salad, I would say it's probably marshmallows. That's one of those things you're like,
these are American processed chemical marshmallows. They're so gross. They're inedible.
wait, Steve, like when you say that this is how she's always made it, at what age, like how old were you when she first made Waldorf salad for you?
Probably first. I mean, as far as I can remember, going all the way back, it's always been that salad, and she's made it multiple times a year. It's not like
and
one time a
she
year.
Has she made it for like other guests coming to your house?
Yeah.
And nobody's ever asked her, like, this is an interesting choice. When did you decide to like?
It's so. I mean, you don't normally find something like that, and they would eat.
Not really. No, you don't. Not normally. Like,
Tell them what I ate the whole Thanksgiving.
I don't remember what
I
you
had a snippet of the saltless, unflavored, watery boiled potato, and I had a few walnuts picked out of that disgusting mayonnaise. And yeah.
wait, when the guests come to your house and she serves this to guests, do they kind of pretend to like it? Are like, this is good.
I don't remember, but I do remember them eating it. I don't remember them not eating it.
I was
Okay.
so hungry after, though. I remember like my stomach was growling.
Was that when you went to?
We didn't.
That's
You didn't
because
get any more
you
after.
filled up. You filled up on marshmallows, didn't you?
I
So
didn't
like,
eat any of the marshmallows. No, thank you. Look, she's not a cook. That's all we're saying.
She does not cook. We would buy her multiple cookbooks.
And
Every
when did you start
Christmas.
cooking because of this?
Age 9.
Age 9. And that's why he cooks.
But I had an interest in it, so then she just ran with it and just let me. She also let me and my brother cook in the kitchen. She left the kitchen. We had knives. We were chopping up stuff. At one point, I did nearly burn the house down. I set on fire.
But you were 9.
Well, I knew enough to run out of the house and dump it in the dirt. I did not put water on it.
Okay, that's good.
can I just say, as an English guy who did spend quite some time living in America, and even before I went to America, I grew up in that era, like just on the cusp when it was like when American culture was really popular in the UK. Okay, like we had, like it just became cool to like American stuff. And most of the best programming that we had, most of it like was American. Like I remember growing up, we were watching things like just loads of American sitcoms and stuff like that. Married with Children was fucking awesome. And like obviously American movies, like American cinema was big. British cinema wasn't really a thing back then. And the stuff that we had that was better than the American stuff, even Americans agreed that it was better. Like even the Americans liked it. Things like Red Dwarf, Faulty Towers, Mr. Bean. Don't worry, you're not cultured. It's okay.
I know what Mr. Bean is. My dad still watches Mr. Bean. It's so embarrassing.
Well, Faulty Towers.
No, I have no idea.
No, that's hilarious.
Do you know who John Cleese is? Yeah. Do you know Blackadder?
No. Do you know Austin Powers?
Yes.
Yeah, baby.
That's the British comedies I like.
So like, yeah, but when I was in America, like I just wanted to like get all of that American culture stuff. And like Thanksgiving is one of like my favorite things. I love how you guys celebrate. I love anything that Americans really get excited to celebrate. That's why I love how Americans have that in their culture of like the pageantry, the patriotism. Like a lot of it's died off today with certain people, but
yeah, it's all gone.
The way you guys get so super excited and just like celebrate everything, blah, blah, and all this kind of stuff. So that's really cool. But yeah, Thanksgiving holds a special place in my heart because like everything is so cool. Like the food, like the just like it's kind of like a preview for like Christmas and like the family Christmas meal. Like you get the turkey and everything, the whole roast and all that stuff, and the food, and you're celebrating like just totally genociding the fuck out of some people that were so much weaker than you. And it's brilliant because like it's just a great reminder of how you can come in like a superior people with just like better weapons, better war fighting skills, and just come in and just betray people and fucking wipe them out and just like take their land and shit. It's amazing. And never let anybody make you feel sorry for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
We
you
used to
came
be
along and you were
proper
just
country.
better.
Mm-hmm.
You came along and you were better than them, and you knew that you were better.
Yeah.
It's just like
Winning used to be like good.
exactly. Don't bitch and moan and shame us for it. We were better than you. You should have fought harder.
Well, you know what they do now these days? You get a participation trophy.
Yeah.
I don't think they're doing
Everyone
that
gets
anymore.
a participation trophy. Yeah, they still do it in the schools.
I thought that was for Gen Z.
I think they still do that.
I don't feel like they do anymore. Anyways, so that's all I have for today. Damon, do you want to go first and say any closing thoughts on everything we talked about? The GATE program, mass psychosis, transhumanism, Steven's mom can't cook, and I burned soup.
Well, you covered it. You pretty much just covered it there.
Beautiful.
I'll address some things in the chat. First of all, thanks for everybody in the chat. Like we only had 12 viewers, but the chat was just like awesome. But yeah, so just some of the recent things here is I don't want to say what the new next just said, but that salad comment was fucking savage.
This one?
No, the one above it.
Wow.
He's
talking about your mom.
I don't know if that. I don't know. I don't.
Getting your salad tossed is
Did they ever
basically
make cornbread? No, because they're.
She has made cornbread before, but we usually have that with chili.
Ew, disgusting. Blasphemy. Is a cornbread sweet?
Yeah, sweet.
Or is it flavorless and
sweet
and hard and crumbly?
These combinations are amazing. Cornbread with chili. Like, salad with marshmallows. It's like,
have you ever had cornbread and chili?
like, no.
Really?
Yeah, it is. Goes very well.
But,
you could do corn chips and chili, but this is you're not putting it in it. You're having it on the side. Takes the heat off. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ethan, Home Alone. Yeah. Best American program. Home Alone is brilliant. Home Alone is awesome. Like Christmas wouldn't be Christmas without Home Alone.
Of course.
Christmas.
And Mr. Bean and Doctor Who prior to Woke is the best British propaganda. I don't know propaganda-wise about Mr. Bean, but about Doctor Who, I can totally see that. I never really got into Doctor Who. I know it's a lot of people think it's a staple of British like culture and TV, but nah. For me, sci-fi British TV show has got to be either The Prisoner or but most definitely Red Dwarf. Red Dwarf for sure. And obviously Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. But yeah, just
Is there any last thoughts? What do you think about the GATE program, mass psychosis, transhumanism, and your mom not being able to cook?
All of that all in one, just
one at a time. Go through them. Like, do you have any thoughts about any
program? They were just preparing for something they wanted to do. And
what do you think? What is your big conspiracy allegedly theory? And don't let Damon stop you from going crazy. And get out there.
CIA
Don't
Or-
you can't say the letter. You have to allude to
They're
things
cook-
and conspiracy.
Don't let Simon stop you from saying what you want. Oh, just yeah.
Okay, come on.
They
See,
were into not esoteric. They were into a lot of stuff that we would normally say is woo woo, like their dimensions. Trying to
the Stargate. They have an actual Stargate, going to other dimensions program. Thank y'all.
Who had that? Who?
It's called the Stargate program, right?
I don't
It's
know.
literally
But
called
anyway,
that. Allegedly conspiracy.
The remote
people.
viewing, all the
Mhm.
stuff that if you look at Stranger Things, they did all that stuff. They Area 51, all that stuff. So it doesn't make they have an enormous budget that they've created for themselves thanks to the sale of drugs.
Wait, it's not get too deep.
No, but
is that allegedly? Allegedly,
it's not allegedly.
Let him go where he wants to go.
Okay,
You can easily look it up. Golden Triangle. Is it a Golden Triangle? Yeah, Golden Triangle. Look
I think
that
you mean
up.
golden showers.
No, Golden Triangle.
Okay, it's different gold.
Anyway, then the
Golden showers is what they did to you after you drank that pink shit, cat.
But anyway, they have, I think, $1 trillion. My brother, he was looking into that, and he said they have over $1 trillion a year to spend, and they will do anything they want with it. So if it meant to go try to find kids who are gifted and use
Yeah, they have
school system to
infinite
do it,
money. Why not?
And these are like tinfoil hat ideas. That they
Oh
would
yeah, and
give.
also
Like,
remember the type of personality that they choose for these letter programs. It's people who are hyper paranoid, conspiratorial. These are the people that they're using. If you are hyper vigilant and conspiratorial, why wouldn't you let's see if we can mind control? Of course. Oh, and yes, we did learn that your mom didn't cook well because she didn't want to have to do it. So she did such a bad job, no one would ask her.
She knows of that,
Mm-hmm.
and that may have been part of why she did that, because she has not been requested to cook again.
That was the last
That was
time.
the last time she was ever allowed to cook.
I have not eaten her food since that time.
Yeah.
She was like, "Thank fucking! I've been making marshmallow salad for Steve for the past 30 years, and he just carried on eating it." It's like, oh,
Yeah,
God.
I mean, I was like, this is not what I was envisioning. I wanted some sweet tea and
No, we don't do sweet tea.
to sit on a rocker in the porch. I thought we were going to Cracker Barrel, to be honest.
You had a lake to look at.
Where?
At that time, she was on the lake, right? Yeah, you had a lake to look at, ducks.
There was no place to sit out there. They had no chair.
They didn't put any mosquitoes.
Anyways.
What was the other ones?
Oh, what do you think about the mass psychosis coming up? And
It's already happening.
It's already happening for sure. And then the transhumanism.
And with the mass psychosis, if you look at what happened during 2020 and you saw how people's behavior changed over what we now know is stupid, but at that time they had their head in the sand. Like you're outside and someone starts yelling at you, "Put your mask on." Yeah, that.
Don't use that accent.
But
Steve.
the thing, no, that was the accent that I heard.
Okay.
That's just
That's the Fauci accent.
Oh God. And
the way people
Need a
act.
mask.
yeah.
And then, like,
Everybody
putting
turned against their
arrows-
own friends and family.
Yes.
They were doing the 6 feet thing because they were like, this makes sense. They were wearing it in the cars alone.
Yeah. or the stupid.
Why are you wearing it in your car alone? I don't want to give myself COVID.
Well,
What?
it was a wild time. So after that time, the people who were gonna break broke, and they are not coming back.
Brokeback Mountain.
You can't fix them. Once it happens, it's over. Yeah, and I found out, oh, this is an interesting point because I can't be hypnotized. So they must have hated me.
No, wait. I took a hypnosis course and I told them about you. And she said, She thinks that you could be hypnotized, but it has to be someone. This is not possible because it doesn't exist. But
It doesn't
has to be
exist.
someone that you really respect and you think is above you.
Which is impossible. So.
Even though you're short, you still think you're.
I have to have complete trust and
Yes.
respect in this other person, which is not something I think I'm capable of.
But as far as hypnosis is concerned, just so everyone knows, I've said it before. Do not look at the news or TikTok or anything within 30 minutes of going to sleep and within 30 minutes of waking, because that is when your mind is the most open
Pliable.
to suggestion. You can become hypnotized in that way. So like, definitely don't do that.
When you're getting sleepy. Because I remember one day I couldn't sleep, and then the next day someone convinced me to buy a Groupon, which I would never do. But since I was half asleep, I bought it, and then I was like, why did I buy this stupid Groupon? And then they gave me like streaks. They didn't give me highlights. They gave me streaks.
Is this why we get so many Amazon boxes to the house?
No.
It's like, I can't be hypnotized, and really she's getting hypnotized all the fucking time.
Family, close friends cannot hypnotize. It's possible, but it's
They got to be really, really dumb.
It's possible.
Nah, not dumb. It's like you need to do the right type of deepening technique on them for a long time, and you need to reinforce it every time you do it.
If the person is willing to sit there for hours,
yeah,
it's possible.
Yeah, and that's why in the programs when they would do the tapes, it wasn't 1 hour, 20 minutes. Sometimes it was 8 hours straight. You were sitting there with these stupid beeps.
And you just sat there and accepted it?
We weren't okay, first of all, first grade, second grade, are you really like gonna challenge
And you
anyone?
didn't tell your mother, hey, what'd you do at school?
No, you think okay, you've met my mother. You've met my mother. She never okay, yeah. But nobody ever asked me, what did you do at school? What is your homework? Nothing. When I would get home, my dad's like, let's go get ice cream. Let's go have fun. Let's go to the park. It was never, what did you do? We never talked about school. Like, I don't understand. People who like parents just like what happened at school. Like, that's so weird to me.
Yeah. Parents who care. I don't understand that.
It's care about school or ask about school. Cause I think first of all, I feel like my dad thought like I was never going to like do anything with school. So it's just like, just have fun with her. Cause that's it.
Kat met Steve and she's like, you had parents who cared about what you did.
I figure because he's a boy.
It is.
Kat's like, I wish I had a mom who put marshmallows in my salad.
No, I don't. Thank you. I was fine.
You just rather have it.
Oh, also, my mom used to burn everything too.
Oh, it's genetic.
Both of our moms can't cook.
ADHD people, I think, can be hypnotized, but if the person that she's going to can't do it, she should switch to someone else that she, again, respects, trusts, and...
So it's never going to happen.
No, that's not true.
You'd have to get me drugged and half asleep.
Not you. This person's Ethan's sister.
Oh.
ADHD people are a conspiracy theory.
They're just bored. Bored people.
They're just people who didn't get smacked when they were a kid.
Shut up.
It would if she get hypnotized, and then if they give her an anchor. So to do an anchor, you go through.
Oh, do you want to talk about do you want to teach people how to do that next time? Are you allowed to?
I didn't sign. Did I? I don't think I signed. Yeah,
you don't have to say exactly, but you can give ideas.
So there's a whole thing. I'd have to change whatever she taught me.
Well, you don't say she.
This she. Who cares? It's 50% of people. There's a whole induction technique. It takes 45 minutes.
Yeah, if you believe you're ADHD, you're probably hypnotized by the algorithm. Okay, yeah, we want hypnosis next time. So
that would be I don't. I could go over stuff, but not.
He can give you 10 minutes.
We could do a mass hypnosis.
No.
Okay, everyone, hit the like button. Open up a new tab. go to your VPN, open up another browser, and log in and
log in on all of the devices of any family members.
Yeah. and start like play all the playlists until we get monetized. That's how we're gonna hypnotize people.
You feel a strong need to watch this horrible podcast before sleep. Strong desire. You start to itch yourself. Sometimes it's better to itch than to do it, but you have to do it.
And the word that makes you feel good is super chats.
We don't even qualify that for that, Damon. Anyways, that's all we got for you guys today. If you were in the GATE program, please like, subscribe, share, and comment your experiences below. And I want to hear about all the weird conspiracy theories that everybody else in the world has on this program. What do you think it was for? Do you think it's just another way for them to, like, what's it called? Embezzle money from the government taxpayer and funnel it into some garbage fake programs to waste people's times? Yeah. Anyways, so we'll see you all next time.
Should we do a Red Shoes Part 2?
But I don't have any more conspiracies. Like, we did all of the big old ones.
On the Red Shoes,
What about it?
we're all tapped out on Red Shoes. There's nothing more. That was a
I mean,
good
this
one.
is technically a red shoe conspiracy idea.
You can make another video.
About?
Red shoes.
But we did.
Yeah, I have to do a new one. Do something
That
about
was a good one. That was a good one, to be fair. Like, you know, I'm not saying all good stories involve kids getting their legs broken and chasing through a forest, but most of the good ones do have that.
And it's around Halloween, so
My watch hours, I need like 100 more hours.
keeps moving.
Yeah, it keeps moving. So like I was as close as 3 hours away, and then it is what it is. But you know, it is what it is. What are you gonna do? We will see you guys all next time. Like, subscribe, share, blah blah blah. Get into the Discord. I put it somewhere in the thingamajiggy. Here's Discord. Join us, hang out, and
Before we go, Ethan, what did Kat max out at? Was it 12 or did she do a little bit better than that? What was the max before we sign off? If Ethan is still there,
well, I'm gonna give you 2
we
seconds.
need the info. Ethan's the guy who's keeping you honest, Kat.
What's
Anything?
CTs? Plenty of CTs. What is that?
Conspiracy theories, I think, but don't think too hard, Kat. You were only in the gifted and talented program.
Okay, fine. If you guys come up with any conspiracy theories that you want me to look into, put it in the Discord. I will research. If you come up with something that I haven't heard and sounds pretty cool, like I like the ones like maybe we'll do like Are Unicorns Real, because that's a fun one.
What about
Were dragons real?
What about the wall of China? That China actually didn't build it?
Okay, we'll look into that.
Oh yeah, that
Nope.
one. Oh.
And then what I was taught by Chinese people,
And you believe
they
them.
lied.
What?
I was taught by Chinese people that was one of their greatest achievements was the Wall of China.
Okay, wait.
And
We will talk about it.
Okay,
Don't
yeah.
give it away. There's
Yeah,
no
right.
point for the 12 people to watch next time. Okay, so we'll see you guys next time.
But wait a second, though. This means, though, that Steve, you have to join us at the beginning next week.
So that you mean you have to cook earlier?
Oh, we'll try.
Because
Yeah,
he's always
get-
like an hour, 2 hours late.
Get her fed and watered and whatever, like, you know, burp her and whatever else she needs.
What?
Who is Perry Curies?
Very Curie.
Perry Curies.
Pierre Curies.
Pierre Curies. Who is he?
That sounds.
We can talk. What were you going to say?
I don't
Like
it
Mary
sounds like
Curie?
Marie Curie.
There was a French physicist, yeah, and
Oh.
well, chemist as well.
But who is Pierre?
No, that is what Pierre was.
Oh, before the
He
dead
was talking about, I think it was like magnetism and radioactivity, like Marie Curie was. He was her husband. But
Oh, was that the guy that found microwaves by melting foot in his pocket?
is it? He was into he also studied the what's it called, crystallology or something like that, crystallography or something like that. I think he did that as well.
Like
Dan
the
Aykroyd.
healing powers of crystals?
Not quite, I don't think, but yeah, he was
Might have been the frequencies that they produce.
That sounds like something like women would be into. All right, well, we'll look into, I guess, a few conspiracies for next time. And that's all. Like, subscribe, share, and we're really going this time.
Quick, click the button.
Okay. Bye.
The old gods whisper with tongues of sin. They crawl through culture to pull you in. Don't be for sale, don't wear their grin. The old are rotten, don't let them win. Eyes and nets and mirrored glass. They promised youth, they cursed your past. You drank the light with ruby lips, but every toe